One more Friday night for 2022. The lights a little brighter on the state's largest stage. It's the 4A title game between New Bern and Grimsley. With that, we welcome you into Kenan Stadium on the campus of the University of North Carolina. And alongside the former Tar Heel, Melvin Williams, Jason Patterson here. Our pleasure to have you with us throughout the night tonight. And Melvin, two teams very similar in that they both come in unbeaten, 15-0 squads, but very different in the way they attack you. For Grimsley, spread it out, very balanced, and we're going to see old school triple option coming at you from the New Bern Bears.
Oh, yes, and so when we look at that triple option, it's going to be Grimsley going to have to be disciplined and not be ball hawking. And then also we got the spread, the new high school football, the brand of football. So we're going to have a great game tonight. I think that both teams are going to show up and going to entertain us very well tonight.
For all the talk about the offenses, it may come down to the performance of these defenses. Two outstanding defensive lines. Many believe the two best D-lines in the state. And here's one of the key playmakers.
Yes, Jamar Jarrett. One of the defensive tackles. This is the first time probably in state history where you got two featured players as defensive line. We got Jamar Jarrett, and then we got K.J. Sampson over on Grimsley. Those two guys are going to be the difference in this game, playing up front down in the trenches.
So often comes down to playmakers. Those are some of those playmakers you'll get acquainted with tonight. How about what it comes down to in this one? Our Ingles food for thought are the keys to tonight's football game. What do you see as the keys for these two teams?
Well, I think New Bern has to be consistent. They have to be consistent in ball control, play consistent defense. Grimsley going to have to limit the big plays of New Bern and control the line of scrimmage.
Those are our Ingles food for thought keys to the game. Ingles, low prices, love the savings. It's time to check in with the third member of our broadcast team for a little more on tonight's matchup. Here is Rebecca Fiorentino.
Well, 378 teams started the season and only 8 remain with 4 state championship titles on the line. And as New Bern head coach Tori Now told us this week, it's pretty special to be here. He wants his team to be focused and disciplined until the final whistle, but to make sure that they enjoy this moment. It's the first time the Bears program is in a state championship game since 2014, and this team and their county are hungry. Meanwhile, Grimsley head coach Daryl Brown told us this game will be decided in the trenches, and his team comes with experience. A number of their O-linemen played in the state championship game in the spring of 2021, so they know what it takes to play in big moments and big stadiums.
Thanks, Rebecca. This is that big moment, the North Carolina High School Athletic Association 4A state championship game. Our broadcast presented by West Shore Home, as well as Kickoff on the other side of the break.
Okay, we've got to talk. Not the talk. We've got to talk about how to keep everyone safe and healthy this fall. Back to school, holidays, football games, birthdays, band concerts. You've got to know before you go. If you feel sick, take a test. And if it's positive, call your doctor. Get some treatment. And if you've let a few too many months go by since your last booster, you should go to myspot.nc.gov and schedule your appointment today.
Everyone 6 months and older can get a COVID-19 vaccine.
And Better Health has helped millions get the health insurance they need. But why stop there? We're out here getting more people signed up with America's #1 marketplace health insurance brand. Him. These two. And definitely them. Nice. And Better Health offers low-cost plans and a trusted network of local doctors when and where you need them. Time is running out. Go to enrollandbetter.com today to sign up for an affordable plan. And Better Health, on a mission for better.
I found a cheaper price for my meds with Single Care.
Whether you have insurance or you pay cash for your prescriptions, you can still save with Single Care.
Insured, uninsured, cash pay or copay. It doesn't matter.
Single Care is accepted at major pharmacies nationwide. Just look up your prescription on the Single Care app and show the coupon to your pharmacist.
Always remember to check the Single Care price before you drop your prescriptions off at the counter. You never know how much you might be able to save.
Go to singlecare.com or download the app today.
Mornings just got doubly delicious at McDonald's with the 2 is always better than 1 deal. Start your day with a mouthwatering crispy chicken biscuit, large hot brewed coffee. Or get a savory sausage biscuit and one of your other McDonald's favorites for just $1 more. Choose from a crispy chicken biscuit, sausage biscuit, sausage McMuffin, or large hot brewed coffee. Mix and match them. When you buy one, get one for $1. Only at McDonald's.
The 4A title game, our broadcast presented by West Shore Home. The New Bern Bears are here out of Big Carolina, 3A, 4A, here in the 4A title game. And out of Metro 4A, it is the Greensboro, North Carolina-based Grimsley Whirlies on the other side. Quite a battle, highly anticipated. Melvin, when you're unbeaten rolling in here, and these two teams are at 15-0, but a long time since they've tasted defeat. They know nothing but victory, and something's got to give. We'll know that one more time for a title.
Yep.
It's just about time to get rolling here in the title matchup. You think about the job that Coach Brown has done with this Grimsley crew. He's from a family of coaches, right? All three brothers much involved in it.
So, yeah, you got a family connection. You're always talking football around the dinner table. Makes a difference. And one of the things I've noticed in interviewing all the coaches and looking at the notes, everything was centered around family on both teams. So we're going to see a lot. We got brothers on New Bern team playing together. So family is going to be key tonight.
And these communities as well.
And communities.
The crew out of Greensboro, as you can see, well represented on that Grimsley Whirly side. You think about the job that Tori Nowell has done on the other side of things. Just tremendous story that he has brought to the land of the Bears. You know, this one was one of the premier programs in the state already, but he brought a new wrinkle and a new offense. They have embraced the moment. We'll get into all of those storylines as the night rolls along, but what you want to know, who's going to see the football first? You probably already read the tea leaves. We're going to see that option attack right out of the gate. Grimsley won the toss, deferred to the second half, so it will be New Bern with the football first here in the 4A title game.
And so we're going to be very, very conscious in looking at what they're going to do up front and seeing if they can move the ball, and that's going to be the key. Can it be 3 and out, or they're going to move the ball down the field? That's what we're going to be looking at here at the gate.
And you said you were keeping an eye on how many times they were forced to throw the football tonight. That was going to be an indicator to you of the success of the Grimsley defense.
Oh, yes. If Grimsley forced New Bern to throw the ball 25-plus times tonight, I think we're going to see a different outcome. But if they don't have to throw the ball and they can run the ball, it might be a long night for Grimsley.
Nobody in the land of the Bears believing that'll happen, right? We shall see. The North Carolina 5-2-9 kickoff has us underway. Return up to the 41. A reminder, all of our kickoffs in this contest will be brought to you by NC 529. It's never too early or too late to start saving for your child's education. That was our NC 529 kickoff. Football first in the hands of the New Bern Bears, and it's just about a stable of backs that are going to be coming your direction. Damari Tucker, the quarterback, he's in his junior campaign. He leads the way, but he's got Herring and Wallace and Dockett, and on down the line it goes. You have to, as we say, with this option offense, you got to honor the dive. You got to honor the quarterback, in this case Tucker. You got to honor the pitch. There's so much in playing your assignment.
So much. You're talking about an offense that rushed for over 6,000 yards this season. That's a lot.
So here is Damari Tucker and company up to the line. Here's that brothers connection you were talking about, working their way out there onto the turf for the first time, and maybe some state championship jitters. We get a flag before the first snap from scrimmage as a bit of a delay going to be assessed on the New Bern side of things. Bears backed up a little bit. You know, you've been in these championship environments as a coach. You've seen it in the eyes of your players. Takes a bit of an adjustment, Melvin, to get ready under these bright lights.
Oh, yes. It's going to take a couple series to get the nerves calmed down, and you know, we'll see how long it takes.
There's a glance at the West Shore home starting lineups. We will take a look at them in full after this play. This bounces out near side up across the 45 to the 47-yard line. First carry to Herring, the senior, who leads the way. And here is the surrounding cast, our West Shore home starting lineup for New Bern.
Yeah, so we're going to be very, very conscious of all these running backs. All these running backs this year, Herring, Wallace, Dockett, all over 1,000 yards this year. They're going to be very key. They opened up the game with a tall sweep. Very odd.
Very odd, he says, the first word you hear out of Melvin as he looks at the play call in the domino match, the chess match. It's going back and forth throughout the course of this one. This is going to be a keeper for Tucker, and he's right below that North Carolina logo and into Grimsley territory at the 49-yard line. Here's a look at the defensive alignment for Grimsley. We talked about the lines, and obviously Jarrett's who we highlighted. Who else do you watch here, Melvin?
We're going to keep our eyes on their linebackers, and Simpson and Jones. Those two leading the teams in tackle. for looking at their notes and looking at film on them. They can run from hash to sideline. And so we're going to keep our eyes on the two linebackers.
That's our initial college foundation of North Carolina first down as the chains are moved, as I mentioned, into Grimsley territory at the 49 for New Bern. Again, those are your West Shore home starting lineups. And another keeper for Tucker. He opts to work his way left side down around the 40-yard line. How important, and I don't guess we can really put into words how important it is, the decision-making process for the quarterback in this offense, Mel.
Well, he has to make all the right decisions. Right there, he kept the ball. But looking at the space, I think that's where looking like Grimsley wanted to put him in space and let him make decisions, hoping he make the wrong decision.
Well, he's made the right ones more often than not across the course of this season, and as a result has his team in the state championship environment. Let's see what he can do on second down and short. As Tucker this time going to turn give. Boy, man, you talked about that linebacking group. How about the contact right there?
That's what they're going to have to do all night right there. Those two linebackers are going to have to field and play hard-nosed football.
Point of attack so critical, and the other thing you say to a defense when they're playing this offense, because they see it so rarely, assignment football, you see it executed well here.
Oh yeah, so you got to keep your eyes off the ball and keep your eyes on your man. That's one of the things I'm thinking that coach probably this week had the scout team running this offense without a football so they can key on the man and not the ball.
What did he tell us though? So hard to replicate it. So hard to replicate it with a scout team. Comes near side. Here's some room. Blockers are there as well. And finally, and he's going to let you know it is a movement of the chains, brought down is Tucker on the keeper this time. That's another College Foundation of North Carolina first down.
So right here we see he making the right decision. This is almost just quarterback keep all the way right here. He had faked the dive and followed his two lead blockers.
And has them right on the doorstep of what would be the first of the Talk It Out NC red zone opportunities. Quick march on the opening drive of the contest for New Bern. And how about the gap here? Able to split it to the 5 and work it into the end zone for the touchdown. New Bern on the board first. The Bears turn to Shamir Wright, who takes it in for the TD. Take a look at the celebration here, and boy, I tell you, Melvin, when you look at what the Bears were able to do on that opening drive, it is just what you would have hoped if you were a New Bern fan. They are able to drive right down and score on the opening drive.
And they played their ball. They showed a couple of wrinkles. Then we got a block kick right here. But they showed their offense. They showed where they can go on the corners. They can go on the dive. And so they really going to challenge Grimsley to play.
Also showed us a guy we'll see a lot on defense. Filling up your screen right now as this touchdown run to open the scoring gives the Bears the early advantage in the 4A title contest.
A new kind of superfood? Hardee's new Super Bacon Biscuit has twice the bacon and is available till noon on the weekends.
The universe provides.
Bite into the new Super Bacon Biscuit, only at Hardee's.
It's tax-free, and you can start with as little as $25.
One day, I'll help people feel better.
NC 529 helps you save for college and job training. Open up a world of possibilities for your dreamer.
Well, an impressive start to the 4A title game. Our broadcast presented by West Shore Home, and that first touchdown presented by everything in the playbook for New Bern. The Bears were impressive on that opening drive, Melvin.
Oh, yes, they showed pretty much a little bit of everything out of their offense. They started out with the toss sweep, then they went to the quarterback lead, and then they went to their triple option with the pitch. So we pretty much have seen a good variation of that playbook right in this first drive.
last run by Shamir Wright. The extra point was blocked, so you're looking at just the advantage of 6-0 for New Bern. But Shamir Wright, who we're going to talk a lot about on the defensive side of the ball, able to get the job done on the ground to stake New Bern to the lead. Grimsley won the toss but deferred, so this is going to be their first touch of the football, and the return is up across the 17-yard line where the return man is met, and that's all that's going to be available Maynard this time around. And you see the excitement as the Bears of New Bern work their way off the field. What are your takeaways from that drive real quick before Grimsley heads out here?
Well, I think that Grimsley are going to have to be a little bit more disciplined on their keys. And key, you had the toss guy, he was out by himself. So just going to have to find out who they got to match up against.
Going to be some guys to match up against on the Grimsley side of things. One of them, the quarterback, the all-conference quarterback, Ryan Stevens, going to work his way up across the 22-yard line. It is a stable of playmakers on this side as well. They'll do it differently. A stable of receivers that give you trouble, and Taylor and Anderson and Deese. But who do you really watch on the offensive side of the ball as we look at the West Shore home lineup?
I like Taylor. I like the way that he catches the ball. He's a big receiver. He can catch in traffic. He can catch out in space. But when he catches the ball, he makes that first guy miss, and he can put yardage on the book.
Well, there is an initial glance at the tough sledding that will be there when you look at what happens up on that offensive line. I mean, the big bodies up front. Cox, who's filling up your screen right now. Bremer, Sampson, Bryant. They are a force to be reckoned with as you see the New Bern D in full.
Yep, Sampson just made himself known right there that he's here to play and that he's in the game with that back down pass right there.
There you see that group again filling up your screen as you look at the lineup. Sampson, Bremer, Cox, Bryant. You will hear their names throughout the course of the night. One more time as they sort out this penalty. Those are your starting lineups brought to you by West Shore Home, bringing happiness to every home. That's West Shore Home. We'll walk this off against New Bern. So manageable scenario coming as you're given a window into the thought process of Coach Brown by having Melvin up here to walk you through the course of this evening. The final Friday night of the 2022 season and well underway as Grimsley works from behind early. Working left side, calling his own number is Ryan Stevens, and Stevens has more than enough to move the chains with a College Foundation of North Carolina first down. Here's his run.
So we're looking right here, just a simple quarterback keep, find a hole, short yardage. Pretty much the playbook is open when you got third and short yardage, 3rd and 1.
Stevens, who completed 125 passes out of 201 tries for 2,067 yards and 20 touchdowns across the course of the year. 20 of the 28 scored through the air by this Grimsley squad. They can also do some pretty good work on the ground. That's what's happening right now. Bounced outside. There's Summers. If you've not yet been introduced to Mitchell Summers, here is another of the all-conference performers out of the backfield for Grimsley.
Oh, yeah. So here's another guy that can put breakaway speed, 1,000-yard rusher this season. And so this is that balance we're going to see. We haven't seen the receivers yet, but we're seeing the run game from Grimsley right now. And Summers he's going to make you miss, and he's going to put some yards up.
241 carries, 2,064 yards. You see it on your screen, the vitals on a young man who has rushed for almost the quarter-century mark in touchdowns. His next trip to the end zone will handle that. He'd like to see that the end of this drive. Another College Foundation of North Carolina first down. And looking for a whole lot more than that near side. Intended target was Anderson, but it is incomplete.
Yep, and so good position on your receiver, but they're going to challenge these small cornerbacks out here. They got 2 big receivers, and they're going to challenge them all night.
Take a look at the coverage that was there as they try to work the first deep shot of the ball game into Anderson's hands. Taylor, who you said you're very high on, Anderson, both tremendous threats. Taylor, who has 12 touchdowns through the skies across the course of the year, and Anderson, who they tried to connect with there, 10 of his own. Football QB tosses this right at the base of that North Carolina logo. You played on this field. The connection is made there. As you see Taylor right in behind the intended pass to Anderson a moment ago. So you see the two of them back to back. You played on this field, but for a high school athlete to be playing on this field, it adds a little extra to you on a night like this.
It adds a little extra when you can say I played on UNC Chapel Hill field or any college field in high school and playing for the championship. You know, that's a big deal. It helps with recruiting. It helps with a lot of things as far as the state itself when they're talking about high school football here in North Carolina.
You'll see the Wolfpack logo prominently displayed with a couple of games at Carter Finley tomorrow as well. What a thrill it is for these young men to earn the right to play here. Grimsley keeps it on the ground, and we talk so much about the triple option and the offensive style for New Bern on that last drive. One thing you're going to notice here, and you see it with a couple of passes, now they go back to the ground game. This is a balanced Worley squad.
Oh, yes. They're going to run 50-50, run pass, and they have a great, as we saw the stats, we got a 2,000-yard rusher, and you got two receivers that can put a guy has big numbers as well. So we're going to see a balanced attack here.
As balanced as any team you've seen all season long. They'll look to that balance on 4th down and 5, needing the 36-yard line to move the chains. So this spot on the field, early roll of the dice you might expect, and there's a slant, but it is going to be taken the other way. Had it set up for Anderson, but it'll be a New Bern moment instead, as Green, the leader of the defense, has his state championship moment to get things underway on that side of the ball.
Yep, so it's just a simple slant. He looked like he had it, but looked like he kicked it off his knee. But Green is a ball hawker. He's going to be around the ball. He's not going to let too many balls hit the ground. Great play by Green.
Well, we talked with the coaching staff this week, said who are the leaders on defense? Not a list of names, although they're all critical. One name that rose above the fray, and it was Green, and he was right place, right time on this carry.
Yeah, and that's what you want out of your linebacker. He's going to be around the ball. He's going to make plays. And as Coach said to him, he's the vocal and the physical leader of this defense.
Had 95 tackles along the way this year, and did not, even though as a unit, this is a team that had secured 23 interceptions, did not have one of his own, does now, and it's in the state championship world here that he gets the job done. So New Bern set up one more time after scoring on their opening drive, and the offense back out there just as quickly. Solid start for the Bears. Couldn't have scripted it any better if you're New Bern. And this is going to be snuffed out.
Yep.
First line of defense right there to turn it aside, and that is one of many you're going to learn about on this offense, on this defensive line. We highlighted Jared in the open, but there are 4 across the front on the Grimsley side of things that are a force to be reckoned with as well.
Oh yes, and they play a lot of guys that's going to play both ways. You'll see them on offense, you'll see them on defense, and so that's going to be the key as to who's going to be worn down in the fourth quarter. How many guys going to be able to go both ways?
Tucker and company, that full stable of backs out there behind him. He will stumble forward in the middle of the hashes down to around the 32-yard line. So credit the Whirlies of Grimsley. They have pushed New Bern behind the sticks, even as the Bears look to open up an advantage. Only just under 5 minutes to play in the opening period. Everything trending New Bern right now. But 3rd and long coming. Need the 21 in order to pick up the latest of the College Foundation of North Carolina first downs. Already 61 yards and 6 points on the board offensively for this New Bern crew. Toss set up beautifully, blocked well down to the 23-yard line before ultimately being driven out of bounds as Herring. You know, a little pitch and catch with your brother. That's got to be special in the state championship environment.
But it had the corner set up here. You see here on this play right here. I like to see the line. Like he stumbled right there, number 1, but he got a feel right there to make that play. Your corner gonna set the corner. You got to be able to feel with that linebacker.
It's up getting about within a yard of the movement of the chains. So 4th down is coming. But a 4th and short scenario, the type of scenarios for which this offense is built. Tucker right up there under center. creeping up, showing pressure. He breaks through, gets a whole lot more than the yard needed. Down to the 12-yard line is the quarterback on the keeper, and that is a College Foundation of North Carolina first down.
So we just see right here just straight man blocking, and he just found the crease and got through there.
So New Bern back in the Talk It Out NC Red Zone. Talk it out, start the conversation, stop underage drinking. That's Talk It Out NC. And the Bears set up in the Talk It Out NC Red Zone. 1st and 10 from the 12. Tucker, so many options with which to work. That's what they call it. This time around, going to be Herring who takes it in. Another touchdown for New Bern, and quite a start for the Bears in that ground game.
Yeah, well, it's just man-on-man blocking, and the back's just finding the crease. And when you got man-on-man blocking and you get pushed like that, and that's one of the things that we talked about earlier, is that Grimsley going to have to control the line of scrimmage, and right now they're getting dominated.
12-yard touchdown run for Herring that goes in behind the rushing touchdown of Wright on the earlier drive. First extra point turned aside by Grimsley. We'll see what they can do this go round. Put into it. This one up and will work its way right on through to make it 13-0. Couple of rushing touchdowns. That probably comes as no surprise, the way the work has been done by the Bears so far.
Once again affecting sports. Multiple high school football
Another
games
game in the Charlotte area was postponed after a student athlete tested.
Kids are accounting for a much higher percentage of positive cases than ever before.
The CDC has officially given the green light to vaccinate younger kids.
COVID-19 vaccine to kids 6 months and older.
It's your shot to get back in the game. Get your COVID-19 vaccine today.
Big news! We're all morning people now. Nope, you're not less lazy. Hardee's now serves super sausage biscuits anytime before noon on weekends.
What?
Again?
Bite into the new, meaty, super sausage biscuit, only at Hardee's.
The North Carolina High School Athletic Association football championship games are here, and all of the action is on WRDC Sports. The best teams in the East meet the best teams in the West, starting Friday night at 7 as New Bern takes on Grimsley for the 4A championship. The action continues Saturday at 11 a.m. as East Dukeland battles Reedsville, Tarboro takes on Mount Airy at 3, and Northern Nash clashes with East Lincoln at 7. The NCHSAA football championships, broadcast presented by West Shore Home, halftime brought to you by myspot.nc.gov.
Years in, he has this group back. He said it's an offensive philosophy he embraced since college. He saw how difficult it is to stop, how disciplined opponents have to be. Working out well for his crew right now with another NC 529 kickoff. Never too early, never too late to start saving for your child's education. That's NC 529. And how about this return? Grimsley needed a response, and they have it. Tried to trip him up at around the 30-yard line, and just one man to beat for the touchdown return, and Anderson takes it the distance. You know, they had the long pass his direction earlier that he couldn't quite corral, but he gives them a lift, the crew that made the trip over from Greensboro, as they are now on the board on the kickoff return for touchdown by Anderson.
Well, that's how you respond right there. You keep your head up and you wait for that opportunity. And Anderson waited for an opportunity and kept his head up, and now we got a ball game.
Yeah, we're just talking about how much success New Bern had on their 2 drives. It's a special teams play, the return of the kick for Grimsley that puts the Whirlies on the board.
You know, that was one of the things that was not talked about this week, was the special team play. All the conversation was around the line of scrimmage, controlling the line of scrimmage. And here we got a big play on the special team.
You thought at some point that there were going to be some points in this football game, right? And they're already coming in the opening period. Couple of scores up there for the Bears, and now the Whirlies joining the action. And set up for the extra point try. And it is going to punch right through. So a special teams moment. This fielded at the 1-yard line and brought all the way back by Anderson to put this Grimsley squad on the board. They've been waiting for something to cheer about on the far side. There was that awkward tackle attempt back there.
Oh, yeah.
the last-ditch effort to try and change things up at the 35-yard line, but Anderson was unfazed.
Well, I'm surprised they didn't throw a penalty on that. But here's the thing that we see right here, Jason, is that now Grimsley has brought in another equation to the game, special teams. And so now we got to look at now, can they control the line of scrimmage and get back in the game in their regular defensive set now that they see that they can run the ball back? And then also, would New Bern kick the ball to Anderson again?
Well, there were 2 kicks returned for touchdown this season on the Grimsley side of things, and the biggest coming here in the state championship moment. You said it. It's going to be something to watch now. When will we see another deep kick in Anderson's direction? Well, we're going to see another kick right now, an NC 529 kickoff coming, as it'll be sent back to the Bears side of things. And they're very busy in the opening part of this, and in the last several moments at least. Jackson Henry, as he's set to kick it away. And there is the NC 529 kickoff. And a flag coming down. See how they sort this out. Officials coming over. And it looks like we're just about to get the word. Well, final confirmation on the in-house communication between them, and it is going to be offsides on the kicking unit. They'll have to set things up and get it rolling again. So after the distance on the kickoff return by Anderson, the opportunity coming for Coach Nowell's Bears now. Coming other side. That's live, scooped up at the 27, and the return up to the 37-yard line on our NC 529 kickoff, and that's where New Bern will take over. One thing we haven't seen yet, Melvin, and that's Grimsley find a way to slow this offense. This triple option offense has been clicking on all cylinders early.
Oh, yeah. And I think because they opened up with that toss sweep, and they've not really settled into that triple option yet. And I think the kids are looking to, that's what they practice all week. And now they've thrown in some different wrinkles. But I think we're going to see it this series right here.
Got the all-conference defensive player of the year in Jarrett wearing that jersey number 55, filling up your screen. What can he and his teammates on that first line of defense for Grimsley come up with here? Well, dropping back as if he's going to throw the football, but then taking it underneath. That's going to be about a 2-yard loss when all is said and done. That front was there, and Hill, Andre Hill, one of the sophomores. What a thrill it must be for that young sophomore to play alongside the big senior defensive player of the year. He gets in there.
And, right here, not understanding, but, the play calling right now. I think they're trying to really test and see what they can do up front against this great up front that Grimsley have.
You're seeing that up front. That was Hill, who was alongside Jarrett. We mentioned just what a tremendous year he had. You know all the accolades, you know all the honors, but he expects to be a major factor in the state championship contest tonight. For more on Jamal Jarrett, let's check in with Rebecca.
Well, I talked with Jamal Jarrett earlier this week, who credits the scout team for giving them a great look in practice all week, particularly the offensive line. And the scout team running back sophomore, Fort Hillo, Jamal Joke, he takes so many hits from us and gets right back up and then reminds us, I want my ring too. So it takes a total team effort, and although the scout team may not show up on paper, they've certainly made an impact in preparing for the Whirlies defense.
No doubt about it. Thanks, Rebecca and Melvin. so much you're willing to do for that ring. And she makes an interesting point. You think about weightlifting, you think about preseason, you think about all the Friday nights that these players were able to grind it out, grit their teeth, and keep digging. You know, this is the payoff, and you're going to see 100% effort on both sides on this night.
Oh, yes, we will see 100% effort on both sides of the ball. But back to Jared, the play before he made his present that you're going to have to run the ball on the other side. I'm here to play and here to stay tonight. It looked like he's coming out of the game to get a breather, though.
Well, you wonder how will a player of that caliber, so many eyes on him, embrace the championship environment. He has certainly, as we said, filled up the screen already on this night. You expect him to be a factor. Not in there as the return unit comes out. He does get a chance after his team forces the 3 and out. This is going to be off the side of the foot. It should be outstanding field position as the official continues to walk all the way up to near midfield. It'll be the 49-yard line where Grimsley will take over. This game turned on a dime. You had New Bern in control. They were up 13-0. You get the return of the kick, and that ignites the defense. Now a stand defensively, and here come the Whirlies again.
And that we counted. They've already passed the ball twice, and they got a 3 and out, and they got a special team win. Right now, the pendulum is swinging towards Grimsley.
I thought you were working Roman numerals over there. You're just keeping a chart on how many passing attempts there are. Going to stay on the ground right into the heart of that Tar Heel logo across the 50 and down to the 47-yard line on the other side. That's Mitchell Summers. Summers is a good-looking back as well, is he not?
Oh, yes. You know, 2,000 yards. There's no cakewalk right there. He can get it done.
Summers, a 2,000-yard back. You got more than one wide receiver who's up over 1,000 yards. You really have to honor it all if you're this New Bern defense. And pretty good field position for Grimsley as they go to work 2nd down and 5 from the 46. Oh, by the way, Stevens, he can tote it a little bit himself and continues to stay on his feet inside the 40. That is a College Foundation of North Carolina first down in which you saw the heart of the field general for Grimsley.
Oh, yeah. So he can hurt you with his arm, and he can hurt you with his feet. And right there, he just showed you what he can do with his feet. And that's going to be that balanced attack that Grimsley going to bring here tonight.
Talk about his cool, calm, collected nature, the way he leads this group, engineers this offense. You saw his toughness on display right there as he picked up a fresh set of downs for this group. They go on the march looking to equalize or perhaps even take the lead with the extra point if this ends the way they hope, this drive that is. And here's Summers stacked up immediately and driven back. Maybe a yard there on the forward progress, and that's about all. Little help to the feet for K.J. Sampson, who was right there one more time.
Oh, yeah, but don't forget about number 10 over there in the black. He can play a little bit of defensive line also. So we're going to see that battle of these two defensive fronts tonight. And right now it's looking like the two that we featured at the beginning, Jarrett and Sampson is showing up and not disappointing us.
You know, Sampson came into the state championship game needing 4 tackles to work his way to 100 of them on the year, 23 of those 96 for a loss. We'll break away, come back with much more of the 4A title game. Our broadcast presented by West Shore Home right after these messages.
Every kid dreams about changing the world.
One day, I'm gonna make video games.
Education makes dreams come true, and the NC 529 plan allows you to start saving for their future now.
Someday, I'm going to make a difference.
It's tax-free, and you can start with as little as $25.
One day, I'll help people feel better.
NC 529 helps you save for college and job training. Open up a world of possibilities for your dreamer.
It seems like places are giving you less and less food these days.
Yes, Mama, it's called shrinkflation. Oh, shrinkflation, that's just another word for robbery. But this is shackflation. What? Dang, that's huge. Extra pepperoni, extra cheese on that thing.
You know, I've got a few years on you.
How's that working out for you?
Pretty good so far. Have you gotten your updated booster?
I'll get it soon.
You've still got a lot to learn. Game over.
You sure?
Yeah, because I've got a boost.
North Carolina. Updated boosters are available to fight against COVID-19. Stay protected. Get boosted. Visit myspot.nc.gov to find a vaccination site near you.
Mornings just got doubly delicious at McDonald's with the 2 is always better than 1 deal. Start your day with a mouthwatering crispy chicken biscuit, large hot brewed coffee, or get a savory sausage biscuit and one of your other McDonald's favorites for just $1 more. Choose from a crispy chicken biscuit, sausage biscuit, sausage McMuffin, or large hot brewed coffee. Mix and match them. When you buy one, get one for $1. Only at McDonald's.
Oh, that's my piece of the shakaroni. That's the biggest one we make.
They'll donate $1 from every shakaroni to the Papa John's Foundation.
Dang, that's huge. If the hoop was as big as that pizza, maybe you'd have made some of your free throws. Somebody save me a slice. Where'd he come from?
We're joined now by Frankie King with West Shore Home. Frankie, thanks so much for taking the time to chat with us here today. Why is it important for West Shore Home to partner with Friday Night Rivals?
Obviously, well, yeah, we're part of the community, so it's very, very important. It's extremely important. When you think about, I mean, all of the, you know, the hardworking people that really make this thing happen, right? Our football players, our cheerleaders, everyone else that's involved in it. I mean, it engulfs community, right? So, you know, the fact of the matter is, I mean, as a nation, when you think about the nation itself, it embodies exactly what it is that we're supposed to do, which is bringing everyone together, and that's exactly what we appreciate here.
You mentioned the community. What does it mean for West Shore Home to be so involved with the community?
Oh, I mean, it's amazing. I mean, just being able to partner with, you know, Sinclair Broadcasting and some of the others, right? Just to be able to bring puzzle pieces together as one entire community. That's important. Plus, you got to understand, Rebecca, this is football season right now, right? So these guys have really worked hard. They practiced hard, really to get to where they are right now, right? They've taken extreme ownership just to be able to get better every day and be exceptional teammates, right? Which is really a part of our core values here at West Shore. So this is our community, and we want to make sure that we do everything that we can to be able to partner and make sure that it's successful.
Well, Frankie, we appreciate your partnership. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Well, on that note, Grimsley back in the end zone. This one, the play that just kept on developing until ultimately it resulted in a Ryan Stevens touchdown. Congratulations in order as Stevens gathers up with his teammates in that far corner as he found the T in the Tar Heel logo down there, Melvin, for a Grimsley score, and they look to take their first lead of the contest with the extra point.
And all they did was spread the field, Jason. They got 2 wides, went empty. Almost, you know, it's going to be a quarterback run. They just spreading them out and man-on-man blocking and letting him find his hole. And he's making them miss, and he got to this pay dirt.
Now he handles his other responsibility, right? Holding for Jackson Henry, the kicker, who puts a right foot into this and punches it on up and through. Grimsley has powered all the way back and retaken the lead. The Whirlies in the state championship environment for the second time in 3 calendar seasons and embracing the moment behind quarterback Ryan Stevens.
And that's just man-on-man blocking. He made 2 guys miss, and he got to play dirt. That's what you want out of your leader.
Hey, think about that championship for Grimsley in 21. It was the first since 60. It had been a long, long drought, a long, long time. They had continued to provide players to the college game, players that had made their mark at the Power 5 level. It had been a breeding ground for excellent talent, but hadn't been able to put it completely together until just a couple of years ago. Came to the state championship environment there, and now finding themselves out front here in 2022 after that scoring drive. Impressive run, half the field to get the job done in just over a couple of minutes there.
Yeah, but I think that you have to look at the play selection that they ran right at New Bern front, and they're going to make New Bern play them up front, and they're saying right now our guys can beat your guys in one-on-one blocking.
Grimsley now pushing the yardage total that New Bern had, which was right on the doorstep of 100 after the kickoff return, which don't forget about it, from Anderson, that really turned the tone in this game, turned the tide, set the tone for what would be that successful scoring drive. And here after the NC 5-2-9 kickoff is New Bern looking for some type of response as it's up to the 38-yard line. It's a New Bern squad, as well as you can really say it about Grimsley as well. These two teams incredibly battle-tested in their playoff runs.
Oh yeah, they have played. Both teams have played some great had some great competition in the playoff. But we're going to be watching this. What I want to see is New Bern going to settle back into what got them here and get back on their script and not this game script that is out of norm for them.
Yeah, we saw some early wrinkles on their side of things, and you are wanting to see a little more of that traditional triple option that earned them this spot. We're going to talk about their journey just a little bit and how they arrived here. Rushing the football, a big part of it, and it stays in the grasp of Malachi Dockett, who carries it over the left side this time. In the playoffs, this a team that handled Sanderson, Hoggard Jordan, Rollsville, Millsbrook, and Grimsley in 35-27 in the Grimsley contest. Really tested 38-33 at one point in the playoffs prior to that. So, you know, this a team that in that Millbrook contest that earned them the right to get here in this battle with Grimsley, you know, had to survive when it counted most, relying heavily upon that offensive attack. Let's see if they do return to that format here. Big seam to the 45 of Grimsley. Pretty good job there. What are you seeing on the first couple of plays?
They're going back to their basic stuff, man-on-man blocking and letting the back pick their hole. I think this is their bread and butter. I think they're going to have to go back to, you see, man-on-man. It's a missed tackle in the backfield right there, but up front, the guys seem to be settling in and doing what they're comfortable doing, and that's just base blocking.
That's the senior Dockett again. Dockett carried the ball 88 times for 728 yards, had a couple of 100-plus yard games and 5 touchdowns along the way this season. He's done the heavy lifting so far on this drive. Picked up another College Foundation of North Carolina first down in the process, and he stays right in between all those big bodies down around the 37-yard line, where the pile's finally going to be pulled off of Herring, who carries the football this time. And a sudden march coming for New Bern in response.
Oh, yeah. We're seeing New Bern settling in, but we're going to see if those linebackers, they played tough on the first couple of series, but look like they're backing off a little bit. Like to see them feel a little bit more, but we're going to see what they're going to do going in these last couple of snaps.
A few yards away from Hardy's first down here. Going to give head of steam, and that's going to be enough for a fresh set of downs at the 32-yard line. So many different weapons with which they can come at you to pick up those Hardy's first downs. Breakfast just got better. Hardy's new Super Biscuits now available until noon on weekends. You can sleep in, still enjoy those Hardy's biscuits. New Bern fans enjoy this.
Oh, yeah. That right there is New Bern football right there. Just man-on-man, blow the guy off the line of scrimmage and let the back pick a hole.
And final line of defense, that was Davis, safety, who had to come up and end up making the tackle there. So here is the Hardy's first down play. Just inside the 33, they'll call it. Tucker and company settled in now. All kind of room this time. Inside the 20. And finally met and brought down at the 4-yard line. Damari Tucker calls his own number this time. And the junior QB has them on the doorstep.
Well, that's New Bern football right there. So that's that triple option right there. And, you know, the end has to decide on, you know, I got quarterback, you got to take quarterback, and you got to let the guy take pitch. When you start not trusting your teammate, this is what will happen to you. And New Bern will hurt you if you don't be disciplined.
Back in the heart of that talk it out NC red zone. Start the conversation, stop underage drinking, talk it out. We are working it out. This Bears offense right now. Ball resting on the 4-yard line. Near side hash. Untouched. And into the end zone for the touchdown. Second time around, we'll call the name of Jameer Wright, who, again, has done as good work on the defensive side of the ball as what we've seen from him offensively in this state championship game. He is quite the athlete. He has 2 state championship touchdowns here in the first half.
Well, you know, like I said, we're looking at this up front. The coaches said it. Both Jared and Sampson said that it's going to be one in the trenches. But, you know, one of the things that we saw these last couple of plays in this drive right here, Grimsley linebackers were not in play. We saw a lot of tackles by the safety. So we got to figure out and see them and watch what their linebackers are doing. They right now are getting blown off the ball.
Shamir Wright carried the ball 15 times for just under 200 yards. Scored his first 2 touchdowns of the year here in the state championship game. And he has his team back out front, 20-14.
Oh, this must be super embarrassing. Let me get that terrible driver I just got pulled over look. Wait, click. Perfect.
Whether you're a driver or a passenger, you're required by law to buckle up or face a fine up to $161. Click it or ticket. Every seat, every time.
In this service this morning, you could have got it streaming in your house. There are people in India streaming this. There are people in Australia streaming this. There are people in Africa streaming this because everybody who's supposed to be in here is in the room.
I think you know what that means. It may be a wild night before all is said and done. Certainly trending that direction as the teams trade scores, and New Bern is back out front by 6. This is a Bears power running attack that I thought it was funny. You said to Coach, you got 5,000 plus yards. He said, we got right at 6,000 yards.
Yeah.
He wanted you to round up. And he certainly has worked his way a little closer to that total here. And using a number of different weapons also. A couple of touchdowns for Shamir Wright, including the one that capped this drive. Tremendous numbers on the screen.
Oh, yeah. So you got, he touched the ball 6 times. Out of, matter of fact, all 6 of those plays was to him.
How about this kid? Tried to see if they could get a body up on that front line. It's just going to be smothered up at the 35. And after the NC 5-2-9 kickoff, that is where Grimsley will take over. Going back to Coach Nowell for just a moment, he said he fell in love with this triple option offense as a defensive coordinator. He said, I was on the defensive side of the ball. I understood how difficult it was to stop, and I said, if I ever get a chance as a head coach, I'm going to run it. He's running it well in the state championship.
He is running it well. And, you know, that is a nightmare for defensive coach because at high school, you got to play discipline. And how can you get a 16, 17-year-old to be disciplined a whole game to play that defense against that offense?
We've seen it work out to the tune of 3 scores already, and now Grimsley looks to answer. What do you like of what you've seen? We see Summers carry the ball again here, maybe a yard or so there, 2nd and 9 coming. What do you like that you've seen from Grimsley's balanced attack so far?
I like that they're mixing it up and they're keeping New Bern on their heels and being a balanced attack. They've got trips out here and they're spreading them out. They've gone empty a couple of times. And so they're making them play all over the field. And I think that's going to be the difference as they wear them down. I think they're going to wear them down.
Here comes a 2nd down and 9. They fake the give to Summers, and then the connection is made to Taylor. Taylor sits down right in between the hashes, and he's across the 40 to the 42-yard line. For a little more on this offense, let's check in field side with Rebecca once more.
Well, Ryan Stevens told me this week that the #1 reason he's been having success this season is because of the guys up front. And he said they've elevated this team and get to go up against one of the best defenses each week in practice. The unsung heroes come with a lot of experience. Center Henry Harden started in the state championship game when the Whirlies won in the spring of 2021. And Coach Brown told us this week that if the O-line plays well, we usually play well.
Now that O-line trying to make some space right now. That O-line may need to do it again on 4th and short. It's about a yard shy on this carry as they went back to Summers. We'll talk a little bit more about it as the day goes along, but 28-8 the win for Grimsley over Cardinal Gibbons back in that 2020 to 2021 athletic year. Said they remembered how unusual it was, but just how memorable the championship environment was as well. Here's a big 4th down play for that Whirly squad right now. Taking that shotgun snap to try and get that 1 yard. Tripped up is Summers, but it looks like he fell forward enough onto that Tar Heel logo to move the chains. It is a Hardee's first down and a key 4th down conversion for Grimsley.
Well, Grimsley is doing everything they need to stay in this ball game. They are going down on 4th down. They're going forward. They got the touchdown from the special team. So they're doing what they need to hang around, and that's all they want to do is hang around.
Well, you remember that championship run for Grimsley. It was really the defensive performance that they were able to put together that time. The offense is shining this go-round in 2022, and that's going to be down to the 31-yard line before they can finally reel in and stack up Maynard, who's the ball carrier for Grimsley.
Here's another one of those threats on offense. Maynard can make you miss, and all they're doing really is base blocking, stretching the defense right there, and getting to the second level. If you can get your safeties and your corners making tackles, you're doing an excellent job with your blocking.
Part of that senior grouping that they're so high on, securing the Hardee's first down. Here's very limited gain on this play as Stevens is helped back up when all is said and done. Going to be 2nd down and about 9. Yeah, the weapons are there. We highlight Summers, obviously, but Maynard, who will carry the football. You talk about the 3 receivers. They've used Hawkins and Mosley and Brown, and even at the quarterback position, the freshman Faison Brandon, who saw some time early, and you wonder how they're going to use him. He's certainly the future, an explosive playmaker, having already received an offer in his freshman campaign, right? Greenville, North Carolina looking at him. So they have plenty of weapons as well. We can talk about the stable of backs on the New Bern side of things, but whether it's throwing the football to these playmakers or putting it in their hands on the ground, you're going to learn a variety of players tonight.
And that's what we're going to see is how to utilize your talent. And I think both these coaches have done an excellent job in utilizing their talents on both sides of the ball, the defensive side of the ball and the offensive side of the ball.
And here's Stevens, who is among that senior group, coming over and providing some stability there. Upperclassman alongside the sophomore running back in Summers, even if they both waded their way into it this year. And he rolls far side, but the pursuit is just too much from Will Brimmer, another of the seniors on the other side of the ball, who brings him down.
Well, that was a coverage sack right there. He didn't have no one to throw the ball to.
Take a look at the vitals for Brimmer and watch his pursuit. As you said, if there was just nowhere to go with the football, and it was a matter of time.
Just a matter of time.
Brimmer, who had 52 total tackles, 13 of them for loss along the way this season, is the player credited with bringing him down. 4th down and 10. Going to need the 21-yard line at the 3:15 mark in the half. Timeout is going to be called for as Grimsley wants to talk it over. We'll take the timeout as well. You're watching the 4A state title contest. Our broadcast presented by West Shore Home continues right after this.
I want to talk to you about the updated booster. It has a lot of great ingredients, but this has a lot of ingredients, but with an updated recipe. The updated booster is like the original vaccine, but better. We updated the ingredients in the COVID booster to fight specific variants to be even more delicious, effective in keeping you safe and healthy.
Stay protected against COVID-19. Find the updated booster at myspot.nc.gov.
Save big for 4 days only at Academy Sports and Outdoors. Get up to 50% off Adidas Champion and Puma Fleece. Up to 50% off ride-ons and bikes. Shop with confidence with our price match guarantee. Deals end Sunday. Visit your store or academy.com.
I'm Gene Riddle. The best part of my day is when I get to hand a client a settlement check, knowing that I've helped them get on with their life. If you've been hurt in a car wreck, call us today. Riddle and Brantley, when justice counts.
Have converted on 1 4th down in the contest thus far. This one a little longer than the others we've seen. 4th down and 10 for Grimsley, but the spot on the field, well, requires you to lead the offense out there. They're looking for the 21-yard line. And going up top near side, trying to get it to Taylor. The flag comes out, and it could be a game changer, as it looked like the New Bern defense had held for a turnover on downs, but the official drops the flag. Too much contact between the two. And they're talking it over just to be sure, but this would mean a whole new world for Grimsley if it's against that New Bern defense. The Bears, I don't know if they're trying to sell it or if they're trying to tell us, but their point is if it's against Grimsley. And their best wishes were not delivered here. Yep.
Yeah.
It is going to be interference against the Bears. And boy, that changes things on 4th down.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know, it's a matter of time before they start throwing the ball to Anderson and Taylor. They both 6'3", playing against smaller corners, and they just got to throw the ball up and give them a chance.
You hear it all the time, Melvin. They just want you to look back, turn the head, right?
Just peep. Just peep over your shoulder just a little bit. He did not peep over his shoulder. Good call by the official.
Sets things up in the heart of the Talk It Out NC Red Zone. Talk it out. Start the conversation. Stop underage drinking. Another Talk It Out NC Red Zone chance. With 3 minutes, 10 seconds remaining in the opening half. Grimsley trying to reclaim the lead on this drive. Stays on the ground. The youngster pushes forward with it down around the 12-yard line. Good-looking player. We talked about his ability, but let's go back and underscore the fact that he's just in his sophomore campaign, and the ceiling is incredibly high for Summers.
When I looked at his stats, and I looked at, he just came off JV last year.
Yes.
And could have played on JV this year as a sophomore.
Instead, he's playing in the state championship environment and handling a large portion of the load on this drive. Summers already having rushed it 8 times for 42 yards in the contest. Left-handed toss, far side. Is that a one-handed grab? The ball rolls away in the end, but that was almost a spectacular catch by Anderson.
Yep, a little bit more air under that ball. He's 6'3". He just got to get a little bit more air and give him a chance.
I'd love the southpaw quarterback, though, right?
Oh, yeah. You don't see him often.
Anderson was there trying to roll it up, but in going to the ground, got a paw on it. Just couldn't quite bring it back to the body.
Just a little bit more air.
Remember, he had the big kickoff return for the touchdown in which he went the distance that provided the lift for this squad. Without his special teams play, who knows what kind of football game we're looking at right now.
Oh, yeah.
3rd down coming, and timeout ahead of it is going to be called for by New Bern. The Bears saw something they didn't like there. Well, it looks like it's getting a little testy down on that New Bern sideline. They were making sure they got the timeout called ahead of the 3rd down play. And our officiating crew making sure everybody's back in their desired spots ahead of what is going to be one of the biggest plays of the first half when play resumes here.
Oh, yeah. Got a flag now.
It just continues to the point that you said it, flag dropped. It's an intense weekend. Both year over at Carter Finley tonight, and then the 11 o'clock game tomorrow. And so much effort having been poured into this point, and the New Bern staff pleading their cases as we get the call. So it is going to be waved off. And no flag after all. As the timeout is where this all started, and it is New Bern still talking over. A lot of the timeout has been used here in conversation with the officials. You don't know how much has been communicated to the team right now, but what do you expect to see on this 3rd down?
What I like, Grimsley is not paying not one attention to what's going on. They have their team over there, and they're trying to figure out how to get the ball in the end zone. I'm just a little surprised that all the chatter from New Bern coaches, the flag was picked up. You called the timeout. You should be coaching your kids up and getting them in the set that you want them in.
I'm told in the truck there was some confusion about the calling of the timeout and the ability to be able to do it for Coach Now. Well, in the end, the timeout is awarded and the flag is waved off. So we are just about ready to return to action for this 3rd down play with no harm here. Now a brief conversation on the other side. Coach Brown, he's been in so many of these battles and around the game. We talked about the coaching connections and how, he's from a family where this has been in the thought process from the very beginning, and the hopes would be that you'd land in a state championship environment like this. Here he is now, trying to put his team out front again. Late second quarter, third down. Grimsley, the QB, Stevens. And he's going to be right at the marker. Going to depend upon where they spot this. It looks like at first glance that he's got enough to move the chains.
It's going to be close.
They're going to place that.
He got
Yep, on the 5-yard line. So it is a Hardee's first down and a 1st and goal coming from the 5 on the run of Ryan Stevens. Stevens, by the way, having carried the football 7 times, he's right on the doorstep of 50 yards. And you'll remember, he had the rushing touchdown. That is the only offensive touchdown of the game thus far for Grimsley. The other coming on Anderson's kick return. Under 2 minutes to play in the opening half. Give off to Summers, and he is met immediately, and I mean twice met.
Oh, yeah. You cannot keep running. He's not going to let you run over him all night. And that's one of the kids that we talked about early in the game.
Sampson and Green, the duo on the scene that time, Melvin. 2nd down and goal. Field shortens up for this Grimsley squad, and who likes to have the room to spread it all out. And this is one of those times they've opted to use Tucker in that safety position, the quarterback on the New Bern side of things, and he slips up, does Stevens, and then a flag comes in at the end of it. Henry in the thick of things. Let's see what the flag is. So a holding call, a little bit of an insult to injury moment as Stevens lost his footing on the play anyway. And there'll be a little more room to work with, but not the way that Grimsley had hoped.
Well, I think one thing, Jason, looking at this, they're running right at Sampson, which you would think that he's left.
Replaying 2nd down.
So now instead of 2nd down goal from the 5, you're looking at the 15-yard line. Room to work with for this offense that does spread it out a little more, though. So we'll see what's available in the playbook for the Whirlies. Looking over to that sideline, the combo of Stevens as well as Summers. Play call to come in from that Grimsley coaching staff. All this is taking it down under a minute to play in the opening half. Zip pass from the left-handed QB, incomplete. Tried to connect with Alex Taylor, who was slanting toward that near side hash, and suddenly it's 3rd down goal from the 15-yard line.
Yeah, right now, I think that Grimsley is second-guessing themselves on their play calling. You have to go with what got you here. And I think they got to go back to utilizing their wide outs or their special team guys. And so we can just keep our eyes on that.
Third down goal. Stevens gets his man in behind the defender, and it is in and out of the hands of Anderson. So 4th down is coming from the 15-yard line. The second near catch for Anderson in that far corner.
That's the play that you want to play. You want to get the ball to your playmakers. I'm still saying that the quarterback got to get a little air up under the ball.
Yeah, he was able to get his defender right where he wanted him. Nobody else in that real estate, but it's just out of Anderson's reach, as you'll see here. Got him in behind none other than Damari Tucker, who...
Yeah, he got him beat. He just needed a little more air on him, let him run up under it.
Remains back there in that safety position as he does in big spots along the way. 4th down and goal from the 15. Coming near side, Taylor. And it is incomplete. New Bern able to hold. The Bears keeping Grimsley out of the end zone in a goal-to-go scenario. And it's worth checking in with Rebecca here because we did see QB Damari Tucker back there as part of the secondary helping get the job done, Rebecca.
That's right, and Tori Nowell told us this week that Damari Tucker's the best safety in the state of North Carolina. Problem is they need him at quarterback. In middle school, he started playing quarterback, wide receiver, running back, and his older brother, Aaron Herring, plays running back, and earlier this year, the coaching staff thought they were going to need he's going to be running two different quarterbacks, but they're starting quarterback transferred in the first week. So Damari stepped up into that starting quarterback role. And Coach Nowell said he fits into their offensive perfectly and loves the attitude that he carries. He's been a game changer, asking questions on the sideline. He's just a great athlete and great teammate.
Stays on the field here, hands the football off to Damari Tucker back to his usual spot, at least usual for New Bern, even if they say he's the tremendous athlete on that side of things. So going to be interesting to see how they utilize these players along the way. You want to stay tuned at the half for the North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services halftime report. We'll have a special interview with the commissioner of the North Carolina High School Athletic Association. First half highlights, a whole lot more. myspot.nc.gov, your spot for COVID-19 protection. You can find out all about it at that location, and you'll want to stick around for the halftime reports. And it is time to get there now. They worked their way to the locker room. We saw some performances that were worthy of our West Shore Home player of the game in this first half. West Shore Home, America's most admired home remodeling brand, will have a player of the game selected, but there's a lot of time left to determine who it might be as these two teams go into the locker room separated by just the score at 20-14. New Bern rushed out to a 13-0 advantage. Grimsley powered ahead 14-13. And then New Bern in the end able to push out front by a score. Going to be interesting to see what the thoughts are of Coach Nowell, and we have them at this juncture as he's standing by with Rebecca. Rebecca?
Well, Coach, your offense seems to be moving well, and your defense just got a big stop there. What have you liked out of these first two quarters?
I feel like we're controlling the game with the way we're running the ball right now. And the big thing for me is that we just got to be better on special teams. You know, we had a block kick earlier because we didn't do our job, and then we let them return one. You know, so that put us in the hole. So we got to get a little bit better at taking care of the special teams part of the game, and I think we'll be all right.
One more half until you guys could potentially claim that state championship title. What's your message going to be in this locker room?
We got 24 minutes left to play in the game. We tell people all the time, the team's going to beat us, got to beat us for 4 quarters. So we still got 2 more quarters to play ball in this ring.
All right, Coach. Thank you for your time.
Go Bears.
One more half left to play here from Stadium. More to come in the state championship final. Stay with us.
Are you applying to college?
Do I need to? Technology's the future.
How about you?
For what? Influencers get paid.
For what? To help take the skills you have now and make them even better. Education at one of North Carolina's colleges or universities can help you take those skills to the next level. Get all the tools you need to plan, apply, and pay for college at cfnc.org.
In 100 counties in North Carolina, we have over 800 agents. We are within the communities, and our job is to help you. It's not just a business relationship, it's a friendship. North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance. Helping you is what we do best.
Jacob, the type of child that was not outspoken at all. Before NC Pre-K, he was shut down. His teacher helped him a lot. Now he's raising his hand, answering questions.
When people think about schools, they tend to think about just the teachers. We have so many people behind the scenes to make the school safe, to make our students happy and healthy. I'm happy that the North Carolina Education Lottery funds to help pay for our support staff.
My child can go to an awesome program for free, and that's a big relief.
When you work for a plan as good as Blue Cross and Blue Shield of North Carolina, you kind of feel bad for the other guy.
Will your plans let me see a specialist without a referral?
You bet.
Yes.
And you'll have plenty of options.
Could my family pay $0 per month?
Plus, you could save with 3 free doctor visits and 0 copay for preventive care, virtual visits, and many prescriptions. Find your yes plan today. Choose wisely, choose blue.
Welcome to the North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services Halftime Report. myspot.nc.gov, your spot for COVID-19 protection.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Nelson Weston. Thank y'all so much for tuning in to the high school state championship football games right here on Friday Night Rivals. Who better to join us than our good friend all the way from Ingalls Markets? Y'all know her, the famous Melissa Level. Melissa, how's it going, my friend?
So good to see you.
Always a pleasure to see you.
Happy football, happy championship weekend.
Happy football, happy championship weekend indeed. Melissa, it does raise the question, though. You guys have had a long-standing and proud sponsorship and support of the community for a long, long time now.
Right.
Why is this important to y'all?
Well, Ingalls is a corporation, but all of our stores are in the hearts of our communities.
Indeed.
So we are the beacon of those communities. So we support everyone in our stores, our customers, our schools, our first responders, our businesses. We are part of a community, not part of a big corporation. So this is just a very natural way for us to go in. And believe it or not, a lot of the people that play in these games work in our stores.
Oh, yeah, that's super indeed.
Right?
Now, from what I gather, y'all have a terrific Tools for Schools program. For those who are unfamiliar, what exactly is that program? But more importantly, how can the good folks at home get involved and support it?
It's very simple to get involved with it. You have an Ingalls Advantage card. You go online and register that card to the school of your choice. Every time you shop at Ingalls, not only are you earning fuel points, but you're also earning points for your school that goes directly into the teacher's hands. And this works into the classrooms. It's not just athletics, it's mathematics and science and social studies. Provides supplies for the teachers, it supplies food and security elements, supplies continuing education opportunities. It is a true educational program.
That is outstanding. Melissa, all this talk about football and state championships, I don't know about you, but I'm getting so hungry right about now.
Yeah.
If I wanted to make a pit stop to, say, Ingalls, for example, on my way to one of the games, what are some of the most popular, delicious, and of course, mouth-watering items on the menu I can pick up?
I'm going to tell you, let's go to the wing bar. Okay, that's the absolute, okay, that's what we're going to start right there. Then we're going to stop and get a boar's head sub, and then on our way out in the car, we're going to grab a big bucket of fried chicken. Now, we are good?
That is magnificent work.
Thank
Melissa,
you.
on behalf of WLOS and, of course, on behalf of the entire community, thank you so much for y'all's proud and resounding sponsorship.
We love our partnership with you, too.
We cannot do this without y'all. Again, Tom Brady might be the GOAT of football, but I tell you something right now, Ingalls is undeniably the GOAT when it comes to proud community sponsorships. I'm ready for some more football.
I'm ready too.
We know y'all are ready for some more football, so without further ado, let's get ready for football!
Welcome to the North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services Halftime Report. myspot.nc.gov, your spot for COVID-19 protection.
Front page, we're almost done.
Christmas, the season of giving. At Ingalls, we know that nothing brings a family together quite like the holidays. And nothing brings a smile to our faces quite like sharing that perfect gift. This Christmas, let's give what's in our hearts, thoughtfully and cheerfully. Merry Christmas from Ingalls. All the ingredients for family.
Mornings just got doubly delicious at McDonald's with the 2 is always better than 1 deal. Choose from a crispy chicken biscuit, sausage McMuffin, or large hot brewed coffee. Mix and match. When you buy one, get one for $1.
A young man working on a roof like this, knocked to the ground by a swinging beam, and he never saw it coming. His life instantly changed forever. It's that next moment after the unexpected happens when the lawyer you hire makes all the difference. Martin & Jones knows workers' compensation law. We know the insurance companies, and we know how to make sure you have the resources to keep going when your income stops. Life can't be taken for granted, and neither can your lawyer.
That's why there's Martin & Jones, the right lawyer when it matters most.
College is very expensive. When I found out I had the North Carolina Education Lottery Scholarship, I was overjoyed. I knew that this scholarship would help me to continue my dream of my education.
Better we can provide education for our future generations, better the future will be. We are so blessed to have this new school. The funds that we received from the North Carolina Education Lottery were a huge part of that.
A college education means pretty much everything to me. You know, I can do this.
Giving feels good.
And with the help of your Honda dealers of the Carolinas, giving has never been easier. Join us for our 14th year of supporting Toys for Tots. Your chance to make this season special for a less fortunate child. Just drop off an unwrapped toy at your local Honda dealer and we'll do the rest. Because every child deserves some holiday joy. Find a drop-off location near you at CarolinaHondaDealers.com.
Oh. Oh.
Right now, you can enjoy a savory sausage McMuffin with egg for only $2.50.
Welcome to the North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services Halftime Report. myspot.nc.gov, your spot for COVID-19 protection.
Here with North Carolina High School Athletic Association Commissioner Q. Tucker. Commissioner Tucker, we appreciate your time. We're looking forward to great games this weekend.
Absolutely, and thank you guys so much for this opportunity to be able to just talk about our championships.
How exciting is it for you to get to this point of the football season?
You know, the last couple of years, once COVID hit, everything was up in the air. We didn't know whether or not we would be able to have a complete season in some instances. And so just to get to this point is pretty exciting.
Well, and there's many familiar teams in this year's state championship games. What do you think makes these teams so successful year in and year out?
One, it's the dedication of your head coach. It really starts at the top. That coach's philosophy, how they choose to conduct their off season, how they choose to approach the season once it begins. And I think another factor has to do with the community buy-in to those programs.
What's been the biggest challenge for the association in the last year?
Well, obviously the officiating challenge has been very, very real. When our football regional supervisors met early on in the season and talked about the numbers. Some were very, very concerned that they would not have the numbers to be able to put a crew on the field. And I want to give our officials a lot of credit. I'm not aware of any games that were never played or had to be changed because they, one, didn't have any officials, or two, officials did not show up. And so that's a credit to those officials who did commit to working in our program. And our regional supervisors also are to be commended for their creativity and trying to work with athletic directors and head coaches to get those games scheduled.
What are you most proud of as an association accomplishing this year?
I am just delighted with the principals and athletic directors for their work in those leadership roles. And then I'm just delighted with the work that our coaches have done. They've overcome a lot in this fall season. I just think hats off to the people who work in our schools. They're doing a lot to help young people be prepared to be the citizens that we want them to be once they pass through those halls and get that high school diploma, that they are positioned to do great things.
We appreciate your time, Commissioner Tucker, and thank you for your leadership this season.
Thank you so very much, and we appreciate what you guys do to spread the word and the message of education-based athletics.
The new COVID-19 boosters are safe and even more effective. We know that the COVID-19 virus continues to change over time as it continues to spread in our country and around the world. The new boosters give us all better protection against the COVID strains of the virus that we now see in our communities. You have a spot. Take your shot.
Stay protected against COVID-19. Find the updated booster at myspot.nc.gov.
At Riddle & Brantley, we care about riders. If you've been injured in a motorcycle wreck, call today and find out if you have a case. No cost unless we win money for you. Riddle & Brantley, when justice counts.
Jacob, the type of child that was not outspoken at all. Before NC Pre-K, he was shut down. His teacher helped him a lot. Now he's raising his hand, answering questions.
When people think about schools, they tend to think about just the teachers. We have so many people behind the scenes to make the schools safe, to make our students happy and healthy. I'm happy that the North Carolina Education Lottery funds to help pay for our support staff.
My child can go to an awesome program for free, and that's a big relief.
There's never been a better time to get away. With a great deal on the Hyundai you've always wanted. With America's best warranty and up to 3 years complimentary maintenance. It's your journey. Own every mile at the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Hurry in to get our best deals of the season. Get in and get away.
Get 0% APR on the 2023 Santa Fe, plus 0 payments for 90 days. Visit buyhyundai.com today.
What does dry skin feel like?
It's really scaly. Like a pet lizard.
New Dove Body Wash with Microbiome Nutrient Serum transforms the driest skin in 1 shower.
I feel amazing. I feel like put on a really good dress. Your skin's full of life again.
New Dove Body Wash.
Got a few things to do this week.
You pour your heart into everything you do, which is a lot. So take care of that heart with Lipton. Because sipping on unsweetened Lipton can help support a healthy heart. Lipton. Stop chugging, start sipping.
After an accident, the choice of a lawyer may be the most important decision you make. At Riddle & Brantley, we've been helping injured people for over 35 years, recovering more than $600 million for our clients. Riddle & Brantley, when justice counts.
And now it's time for the MySpot Medical Timeout, your spot for COVID-19 protection. With us today is Dr. Charlene Wong, Assistant Secretary for Children and Families at NCHSAA.
The new COVID-19 boosters are safe and even more effective against the types of COVID-19 that we now see in our communities. The boosters, just like the original vaccines, have gone through rigorous clinical trials to make sure that they're, number one, safe, and number two, importantly, effective. These COVID-19 updated boosters take into account some of these newer strains that we've been seeing in the country and give us stronger protection. If you test positive for COVID-19, it's really important that you stay away from others to not spread the virus. You can go onto our website at myspot.nc.gov/find treatment to also find sites where you can get tested and treated all in one spot, and you can do that even if you have no health insurance.
Hey, conductor, how about something new? You played this last year.
Come on, get your head out of your sacks.
We're trying to hear.
Well, I'm sick and tired of hearing your kid play the wrong notes. Where's my kid solo?
At least you can see your kid. Why is my kid stuck way in the back?
The conductor only plays his favorites.
My kid heard that solo.
Well, Coach, what's your assessment of how your team has handled the triple option?
Well, we've had some issues, but we had a big stop early in the second quarter. And then, as much as anything, we've left some plays out there offensively. So, our guys are playing hard. We've made a couple adjustments, so hopefully we'll play better in the second half.
And you told us that this season your mantra has been whatever it takes. What's it going to take here in the second half?
Well, it's going to take us tackling better defensively. And then, like I said, making those plays offensively. We missed a couple throws and a couple blocks here and there, but we're right there in it. So big second half, and our guys are ready to go.
Big second half indeed. Thanks for your time, Coach.
Thank you.
Second half coming up. Grimsley, New Bern. Stay with us for the 4A state championship title game.
College is very expensive. When I found out I had the North Carolina Education Lottery Scholarship, I was overjoyed. I knew that this scholarship would help me to continue my dream of my education.
The better we can provide education for our future generations, the better the future will be. We are so blessed to have this new school. The funds that we received from the North Carolina Education Lottery were a huge part of that.
A college education means pretty much everything to me. I can do this.
Research shows people remember commercials with nostalgia. So to help you remember that Liberty Mutual customizes your home insurance, here's one that'll really take you back.
Wow!
What'd you get, Ryan?
It's customized home insurance from Liberty Mutual.
What does it do, bud?
It customizes our home
so we only pay for what we need.
And what did you get, Mike?
I got a bike.
Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
West Shore Home is making shower and bath remodeling fast, easy, and convenient during the holiday season. And today I'm joined by Kirsten to find out exactly how they're doing that. Kirsten.
So, Joe, we know everyone is super busy this time of the year, which is why our one-day installations are so popular. During the holidays, we know people don't have time to sit around for days, even a week or more, waiting for their home remodeling project to be done. That's why our one-day installation is crucial.
And Kirsten, you're also making starting these projects more affordable. Tell us how you're doing that.
So, Joe, right now we're offering our biggest financing deal of the season. It's 5 years of 0% APR, which makes paying for that project easy because the payments are broken down into equal low monthly payments. On top of that, we're taking 50% off the cost of installation on all projects.
Kirsten, thanks. Folks, call West Shore Home now for this amazing offer. Call in now because they're doing 5 years of 0% APR plus 50% off the cost of installation. This is an offer you do not want to miss. Call West Shore Home now.
Well, hotly contested and highly competitive 4A title game. Our broadcast presented by West Shore Home continues as we look at stats and then highlights from the first half of action. Our West Shore Home broadcast has really been marked by a number of key numbers. And as we take a glance at the stat sheet, what jumps out at you, Melvin?
Well, for me, it's the passing yardage for Grimsley. I thought they would be a little higher than the 8. Taylor and Anderson are just too big and too good to have 8 yards between the two of them when you're talking about two 1,000-yard pass receivers.
And you expect them to be a factor before all is said and done. That's a look at our North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services halftime stats. As we look back at the highlights from the first half of action, it started with a little bit of a different wrinkle from New Bern out of the gate.
Oh, yeah. I think they gave Grimsley the respect that they deserve up front. They started the game with a toss sweep. And you know, they wanted to see if those big guys can run, I believe. And then they settled back in and went to their bread and butter with the triple option.
A couple of touchdowns for Wright. This was a big interception that caromed off the receiver.
Oh, yeah. But that's, you know, Green, he's a ball hawker. He's going to be there. He don't let too many balls hit the ground. And but that was unfortunately for Grimsley because they was on the move to scoring on that interception.
Mari Tucker handled the offense well, gave off to his brother. Herring able to finish things off and score. That was one of the 3 touchdowns. The big play, the kick return, and then it ignited things. And Ryan Stevens capped the first touchdown scoring drive after this, which is what really put Grimsley ahead of the game and on the board.
Well, that, you know, nobody all week talked about the special teams. Everybody talked about winning the line of scrimmage. And so I'm going to give the bonus the first half. Even though they're down on the scoreboard, I'm going to give a win to Grimsley. That they did some things that was not expected. The 98-yard touchdown run, and then also the passing and spreading them out with their run game.
There's the NC 5-2-9 second half kickoff. Grimsley did win the toss and deferred, so they will have the first crack at it offensively, down 6 points. There is no return available for Alex Taylor, though. You just heard Melvin say he fully expects the combo of Taylor and Anderson to be targeted regularly by Stevens, and their performance could end up determining the outcome of the day for Grimsley.
I believe so. I think that the battle up front is even right now. With both teams have strong defensive line play, strong offensive line play, but I think it's going to come to those guys outside.
Both these teams were very much within striking distance with the state championship in sight, and two teams that know a little bit about it. They'll turn and give to the sophomore back, Mitchell Summers. Summers with very little available to him here, and behind the sticks out of the gate, the Whirlies of Grimsley. It was the first since the 60s, but it was just a couple of years ago during the pandemic altered season, and that's what the coaching staff talked so much about. Coach Brown said, you know, what memories do I have of all that? That it was a very unusual year. This has been more of a traditional year, and both these teams come into this championship environment at 15-0, having handled everybody they faced along the way this season. Second down, and long for Stevens. And he's going to go that direction, looking for Anderson, trying to get it to the two receivers, Taylor, Anderson, who they've targeted on more than one occasion in this game, but it is incomplete, and third and long is coming. Alluded just a little bit earlier to the background for Coach Darryl Brown as he tries to get this offense jump-started here. His brother Eric is with his brother Calvin at Providence Grove. They're the grandchildren of C.K. Seiler. He grew up about 10 minutes away from the campus of Grimsley High because he's an alum of Southern Guilford. And again, the field named after C.K. Seiler, that was his granddad. So coaching in the blood, and he tries to parlay it into the latest of the big coaching moments for the Seiler/Brown family. And he is going to watch as Summers here is read and snuffed out. There was nothing available, and you can thank Mr. Green for that. Notavian Green said, not right here.
Well, there's that number 7 again, as Coach shared with us this week when we interviewed him on yesterday. The teeth of this defense is number 7, Mr. Green, and he's shown you right there. He's took that screenplay, read it, made the play. They're going to have to come up with something different.
You're looking at what's going to happen out on the perimeter. We'll see it on another drive because this one is brought to a halt by New Bern. But all that to say about Grimsley, they understand the championship environment in recent years. He understands the high school ranks in North Carolina and what it takes to be a champion. And we're going to find out as we work our way into the middle stages of this third quarter and the balance of this game, who is going to come out on top. New Bern owns the lead out of the locker room. And New Bern, though they showed that different wrinkle earlier that we talked about in the highlight package, kind of became themselves down the stretch. And you had to love his quote, didn't you, Melvin? What did he say? He said, why be somebody else when you can be you? Yeah.
I thought that was very, very interesting, but he's right. Everybody's running the spread offense these days in high school, and everybody don't have that quarterback that can throw that ball like most. You probably find 1 out of 10 that can do that.
He's got certainly plenty of playmakers here as he's brought that offense to fruition. And here's a gap and a cutback and a little more of Herring, and he is not going to be denied the end zone here.
But everybody can run.
And if you can play your assignment and you can block well, what did he say about the wide receivers? My wide receivers argue about who's the best blocker when they come back to campus after playing for me along the way. Number of blocks springing Herring here, and the seniors in the end zone, and it picks up right where it left off at the end of the first half on New Bern's first drive of the second half.
Well, and that's, they have settled back into their comfort, and what they do best is line up.
Take a look at some of the numbers for Herring as he now has twice found pay dirt in the state championship environment, and his team seeing the lead grow a bit here as the Bears make tremendous use of this trip down the field, and most of it on this one touch of the football by Herring.
And that's just, just good, solid downfield blocking right there. And just like Coach said yesterday, when you got your wide receivers chatting amongst themselves as to who's the best blocker, you got something. That's an offensive team.
66-yard touchdown run. You can see he's already up over 100 yards on 6 carries and a couple of scores to show for it. As Herring has just made his presence known in this championship environment. Coach Nowell talked about how he and Tucker feed off one another, the brothers, right? We saw the give off on more than one occasion and what it must mean in a state championship environment. He said when one's not playing well, the other rises to the occasion. It's like they elevate their game, trying to pick up the slack for one another when necessary. And boy, the moment that they're sharing and the memories they're making in this state championship, second to none.
Oh, yeah. And that's, that family connection and what both teams have talked about is you hear the players talk about it, you hear the coaches talk about it, not just blood family members, but as a family, as a unit, and then the community. That is the huge part, that the community is showing up and supporting these young men. And
when it is a community like this, you grow up as a band of brothers. For more on the close connections between these players, let's check in with Rebecca.
In talking with KJ Sampson this week, he said the big reason why this team has been so successful is because of that chemistry you guys were talking about. These guys have grown up playing together since they were 7 and 8 years old, and they grew up on the Bears sideline. Senior Dylan Wagner's father used to be the athletic director. and they're working together here right now. Well, his father was the athletic director at New Bern, so when they were younger, Dylan, KJ, Will Brimmer, Aaron Herring, and Damari Tucker all used to be water boys on the sideline. It's a full circle moment and means a lot to them to have worked hard to get this football program back to a state championship game.
And they have. This was one of the powers out of the East. They're running a different offense now. But so many of those familiar faces, familiar to one another. What a great story it is when you think about just how much of a journey they have enjoyed for a lifetime to get to this point.
Oh, yeah. And that's that right there, that picture that was on the screen, and to show where they started and where they're going to finish up, hopefully, for them if they continue to play that they, you know, this is something they'll talk about the rest of their life. This is something they can share with their kids, their grandkids, that, you know, they played alongside this guy from 7 years old all the way through high school. And that's what it's about.
And on cue, while Rebecca was talking about it, that front group getting up there and driving the ball carrier back as if they heard the challenge. This penalty walks it off to a 2nd down and 5, and that's what Grimsley will deal with from the 35-yard line. Left-handed QB. Turn around, look for the football. Now everybody's scrambling to try to grab it because it's on the turf, and it will belong to the Bears. New Bern with the takeaway inside the 30-yard line.
Looked like he just dropped it.
Looked like he was looking for the handle on the football. Then he kind of turned back to see where it was, and then the next thing you know, it's trickling across the ground, and Will Brimmer, when all is said and done, will have the chain to prove his good work on that play of finding it.
So, yeah, here we are.
When he went to throw it, slipped out of his hand.
Just slipped out his hand.
And then, of course, right place, right time. Boy, you think about a couple of caroms that Grimsley would love to have back. This one where the handle was lost by the QB, and the other on the slant route early that caromed right off of the receiver and into the hands of the defender for a pick. Can New Bern make this one count as well as the Bears go to work at the 27-yard line? Into the backfield and snuffing it out immediately is Bryce Davis. He's a big sophomore, both in his size and his play.
You know, and that's what you want. 6'3", 230, and he stayed on his responsibilities. And that's what Grimsley going to have to do, is stay on their responsibility.
Davis, who is able to work his way right into the thick of things for a big response for this defense of Grimsley with New Bern knocking on the door again. It's a moment that's going to grab your attention. You certainly hope everything is fine here with Jarrett. We'll check his status on the other side of the break. You're watching the 4A title game presented by West Shore Home.
A new kind of superfood? Hardee's new Super Bacon Biscuit has twice the bacon and is available till noon on the weekends.
The universe provides.
Bite into the new Super Bacon Biscuit, only at Hardee's.
Giving feels good. And with the help of your Honda dealers of the Carolinas, giving has never been easier. Join us for our 14th year of supporting Toys for Tots. Your chance to make this season special for a less fortunate child. Just drop off an unwrapped toy at your local Honda dealer and we'll do the rest. Because every child deserves some holiday joy. Find a drop-off location near you at CarolinaHondaDealers.com.
Big news! We're all morning people now. Nope, you're not less lazy. Hardee's now serves super sausage biscuits anytime before noon on weekends.
What?
Again?
Bite into the new, meaty Super Sausage Biscuit, only at Hardee's.
Well, the future Georgia Bulldog up under his own power. You see he's getting a little bit of an assistance there, but he looks no worse for the wear, which is great news. You know, he's only trading 1G on the side of his helmet for another when all is said and done, right? But bright future for this young man. Good to see him up and unscathed, it seems.
Oh, yeah, it looked like he might have just got stepped on. We'll see if he gets back in the game.
2nd down. Looking for the 16-yard line. This New Bern team right off the takeaway. After the fumble of the football on what looked like it was a passing attempt gone awry for Stevens just a moment ago, this will be taken down to the 25-yard line. Capitalizing on your opponent's mistake, so key in a state championship environment. New Bern already has in this game. Can the Bears do it again?
Well, we're going to see they're going back to their bread and butter. They're going to just line up and play smash mouth football right now and just wear down Grimsley up front. Now that Jared is out of the game, they're a little smaller, so we expect they're going to run right at them.
Not a team you want to face with a lead when they run the ball as effectively as New Bern does out of this offensive attack. And one note about this group worth mentioning is this is stacked up right in the middle right away. What you often see with these teams like this, you think about the Tarboro T, so many others, they run this from infancy, right? They run it from Little League and all the way through. The coaching staff for New Bern has come in, instilled this offense in a 4-year stretch. Took them 4 years to get here. But this is an offense that's been learned by this group in their high school tenure. So they didn't grow up running it and yet have embraced it and executed it very well.
Well, I think you said 4 years. So that means that they started running when they were 9th graders, the seniors on the team. And so they grown to learn it and accept it. So this is not a young team running this offense.
4th down play here, going to be pitched far side, looking where else but to Herring, and the ball is down, and here's the Grimsley lift again. It's going to be a defensive lift for the Whirlies as they pick it up, carry it back to the 35-yard line, and congratulations are going to be in order as Grimsley's Chris Young. How about the sophomores that have come up huge in this football game? Here's another of them in young players, including Chris Young, making the difference today.
Well, and that's what Coach talked about. He said, you know, the young players are going to have to step up tonight, and they are doing that. But here's another thing here. Grimsley just won another phase of the game. They got a defensive stop and a turnover. So now they got the special team and now defense. Now they just got to figure out how to get the ball to their playmakers.
Can they do it on this drive? And remember, Melvin, nothing on the takeaway for New Bern that time, thanks to what Grimsley was able to do there. That's Maynard coming near side. So the first time on the interception, New Bern did go in and score. Here on the fumble, Grimsley able to return the favor, and all of a sudden the game is back to within striking distance if the Whirlies are able to do something on this drive. 2nd down and 7 coming. Boy, I know it's 3rd quarter. I know we're looking at almost 7 minutes still remaining here in this period, but this feels like a huge drive for that man and his team.
This is big right here. He got to walk away with points.
Coming near side to the 30, Summers striving for every yard of real estate, and he's down to the 29-yard line. Who is going to rise to the occasion, like so many of these young players we've talked about, and become our West Shore Home Player of the Game? That's the question we'll answer at the conclusion of tonight's contest. West Shore Home, bringing happiness to every home. We will have our West Shore Home Player of the Game at the end of the night. 3rd down coming, a chance for somebody to rise up and become a candidate for that right here. Third down and just a couple needed. A long 2, they'll call it. And here's Summers, but he runs into the big wall as he tried to work his way through traffic, and it's going to be 4th down for the Whirlies all of a sudden. Boy, that's another time to call Sampson's name, isn't it?
Oh, that right there. You know, it was interesting watching. Summers only 150 pounds, and they run him between the tackles like he's a big back. Which tells me that he's not afraid.
Well, let's see if they turn back his direction or just where they'll go. You've been looking for the combo of Anderson and Taylor. Both those receivers, or both the receivers in the game, lined up near side down here. It's going to be right into the teeth of that defense. Mitchell Summers, he is unafraid. He's unfazed, and he's going to move the chains. That's a College Foundation of North Carolina 1st down, and a much-needed one for Grimsley.
Well, the blocking up front, both of these lines are playing great ball right now. I still say that it's even. It's a draw on Grimsley offensive line and New Bern's offensive line. And it's going to be which team's going to come up with a different wrinkle to win this thing.
Both teams having converted on a 4th down in this contest, and that one a memorable one. And running right at the heart of the defense this time is Stevens, and he is still barreling forward to the 5-yard line. And he's fired up off of it, the QB for Grimsley.
Well, we're back down here again. Let's see if they're going to run it at him or do something different this time. We know that right here, this game right here is just man-on-man blocking and just a great effort right here. That's just a great effort.
Now don't forget, he rushed for 1,037 yards and 24 touchdowns this season alongside those gaudy passing numbers.
And so that's another running back you got back there.
And the turnoff give to Summers this time. Plenty of room. They made a nice hole for Summers to sneak right through. The sophomore has a state championship score. And with that, Grimsley is right back in the thick of things.
Well, that's those guys up front. That's all offensive line play right there. They man on man. You're going to beat me or I'm going to beat you. And that's all that was right there.
All three phases in this game for the Whirlies right now. The special teams touchdown, the 98-yard return on the kick for Anderson. The defense had the takeaway that sparked this drive, and now the offensive performance of Stevens and Summers making the difference on this trip down the field. Pending the extra point coming from Jackson Henry, which is true. This crew within 6 once more at 27-21. Plenty of room for the sophomore. Mitchell Summers right up the middle to tighten things in the 4A title game.
Once again affecting sports, multiple high school football
Another
games
game in the Durham area was postponed after a
postponed.
student athlete tested
Kids are
positive
accounting for a
COVID-19.
much higher percentage of positive cases than ever before.
The CDC has officially given the
Locations
green light
across
to
the state are
vaccinate
giving
younger
the
kids.
COVID-19 vaccine to kids 6 months and older.
It's your shot to get back in the game. Get your COVID-19 vaccine today.
There's never been a better time to get away. With a great deal on the Hyundai you've always wanted. With America's best warranty and up to 3 years complimentary maintenance. It's your journey. Own every mile at the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Hurry in to get our best deals of the season. Get in and get away. Get 0% APR on the 2023 Tucson, plus 0 payments for 90 days. Visit buyhyundai.com today.
Well, the Whirlies of Grimsley trying to battle from behind. They battled back in week 2 against Reagan, rolled to a 40-34 victory in comeback fashion, and then the rest is history in Metro 4A beyond that. But they have some experience coming from behind. This team showing the ability to battle here on a 6-play, 36-yard drive. Again, after they had given up the fumble deep in their own territory, the defense rose to the occasion with the takeaway, and this is how the drive was capped.
And on top of that, Jason, Grimsley has won and been in more close games. Now we're going to be seeing New Bern. How can they fight? How can they play in adversity? How are they going to come out and being challenged? They haven't really been challenged this year.
And look no further than a week ago, 28-27, the final of that contest with Weddington. In order to get here, 40-37, and a hard-fought battle with Huff. Independence took them to 44-36 was the final there. So you're right, the last 3 weeks, this team has had to grind one out week after week to survive and advance, and trying to do it from behind one more time here. Before we get too deep into this drive for New Bern, let's give a little credit to the offensive line. Brent Buckram, Jamarius Matier, Henry Harden, who you heard Rebecca talk about earlier, Jaden Staten, Tyler Smouse, that group making some good space up front for Summers, who scored the touchdown.
Yeah, and experience, that's key. And that's what Coach talked about yesterday, is his experience up front.
2 seniors and a trio of juniors on that offensive line doing such good work for the Whirlies of Grimsley that time. You know, line a key for New Bern. They're going to try to make some room for this stable of backs, and it's across the 40 to the 43-yard line. He'll take that on first down all day long. On this occasion, it's Dockett giving the football again, and he's near first down yardage on one play.
And that's back to the bread and butter. And you know, want to see if Jared is back in the game. Don't see him down there. So it's going to be interesting to see how they come out of this series right here without the big guy.
Remember, the Georgia commit, the defensive player of the year in the conference for Grimsley, leaving on that last series. Here the work's being done outside, bouncing it out there and carrying it forward is Dockett again. A couple of carries for him. This one's going to result in the College Foundation of North Carolina first down. Move the chains as Newbern goes on the march.
Well, it's just hard to, in this day and time, to watch a high school team don't throw the ball. And you just got to line up and play against what you're going to see. And they sticking to their plan.
What the coaching staff tell us: alignment, assignment, execution. Those three things are check, check, and check so far for New Bern. Bears keep it in between the tackles down to the 33. Well, why not try it and see if you can get a continuation here? But the officials are blowing this dead back at the 33-yard line. Serves as a chance to make sure the equipment's in order, right? Before you head back to the line of scrimmage.
Like he's cramping up.
Yeah, yes, you're right. Thought he was maybe adjusting something on the sock, but he's stopping and grabbing the back of that calf. And looks like it's going to take a moment here before things work back to action. So certainly don't want to see that with as much of a factor as he's been of late. And now going all the way down to the turf is Wright, who has a couple of the touchdowns for New Bern in this contest. And it's going to require the training staff to try to stretch this out a bit.
Yeah, so, and looking at this, Jason, from a standpoint, if you remove the score from this, Grimsley is winning the special team. They're winning on the defensive side of the ball. They're winning on the offensive side of the ball. New Bern is winning with the defensive takeaway, and they're winning with their offense. Now, the score is favoring them, but when you look at the different phases of the game, Grimsley is winning the different phases. They up 3-2, the way I'm calculating over here.
Find themselves down 6 points at the moment with the New Bern team, who is going on the march here. But those wins in those key phases keeping them right in the thick of it.
Keeping them right in the thick of things.
Amari Tucker, as they do tend to Shamir Wright for a moment. It's deep in the season. That's something you often see in August and September on some of those warm North Carolina nights, right? Instead, in the cool of the state championship environment, you hope Wright can return quickly. This is going to be given off across the 30 down around the 27-yard line. That's Dockett again, who's been given most of the carries on this drive.
Oh, yeah. And, they just got backs. They're just going to keep bringing them. You got to think about now, as Coach reminded me yesterday that we rushed for over 6,000 yards, not 5,000 yards, which means you got a couple of backs that's got over 1,000 yards.
And 8 different players who had rushing touchdowns this year, by the way, on this squad. So just tuck that one away in the back of your mind. Third down, and only needing a handful here. But net at the point of attack, it looks like Grimsley stood tall. It's
going to be close.
Create a fourth down opportunity. Looks to be about a yard shy. So here's another chance for the Whirlies defense all of a sudden in almost the same spot on the field, Melvin, to try to get off the field one more time.
Like he might have lost a half a yard the way they spotted him.
And Herring is going to run on, and he's not alone. As a part of the personnel grouping this go round is Emmanuel Johnson also. The receivers out on the far sides giving options in this fourth down play. And timeout being called for. Actually a flag coming in, but I think the timeout was awarded first. We'll see, because New Bern was requesting a timeout as things were winding down on the clock. 1:42 left to play in the third period. We were talking just a little bit ago about the great work being done by that offensive line. Let's go back there and check in with Rebecca.
Well, right tackle Tyler Smouse's family's roots run deep within the Grimsley football program. Not only did his father play center and his uncle play quarterback for the Whirlies, but his grandfather, Jeff, coached at Grimsley from 1984 to 1999. The Smouse family is here tonight in full force to watch Tyler play in his final high school football game. But this game not only means a lot to Tyler, but most importantly, his grandfather. Jeff has been on dialysis daily since the fall of 2021 as an and is in search of a kidney transplant. He's been undergoing treatments at home in Ocean Isle Beach, and because of that has been limited with travel. But he's made it here tonight, cheering on his grandson, full of pride and admiration. I spoke with Jeff Smouse before the game, and he told me Tyler asked him 5 weeks ago what his plans were for this weekend because they were going to be in Chapel Hill for the state championship. And Jeff said, okay, I'll be there. Jeff calls Smouse Papa. He's loved by many, and I was up there in the stands talking with him earlier. Many former players were coming up to shake his hand, so we're thinking of the Smouse family.
No doubt, it means so much, this game of football, so much more than just what happens between the white lines. The fourth down play converted by New Bern, so the Bears go for it by keeping it on the ground, even though they showed a few wrinkles there after talking it over. Why not? It's the bread and butter, and it pays off, as it is a College Foundation of North Carolina first down. The drive continues. Thought there was perhaps a chance there to get Tyler Smouse and company back out on the field with that offense for Grimsley, but the conversion true this time around for New Bern.
Oh, yeah. You know, go with what got you here, and that's what they did right there. Just lined up and put it on the offensive line to get them where they need to go.
Both teams have converted on 2 fourth downs across the way tonight, and that is met quickly. I mean, quickly met.
And, Mr. Green again.
He is everywhere, is he not? What are there, 3 or 4 of those guys out there?
It must be, but he's a ball hawk.
Here's Davis, who is able to come in there and take care of business. Remember, we saw Davis early in the secondary, the last line of defense, making some tackles. Here, he was on heavy pursuit, limited the gain at second down. 36 ticks downward to work our way toward the fourth and final period of action in the 4A title game, and that is red.
That is how you play it right there.
And turned aside. Yep, if you want to put together a textbook of how you handle this offense, Anderson, who's done so much already tonight for Grimsley, just showed you how it's done in open field.
Oh, yeah. And what he did was he set the edge, first of all, and everybody played their reads.
Going to take us to the end of the third period. So leading by 6. The Bears threatening for more. And Grimsley trying to stand tall and keep it tight. 1 quarter away from crowning a stamp champion one way or the other.
Once again affecting sports. Multiple high school football
Another
games
game in the Durham area postponed after a student-athlete tested
Kids are accounting for a much higher percentage of positive cases than ever before.
The CDC has officially given the
Locations
green light
across
to
the state
vaccinate
are giving the
younger kids.
COVID-19 vaccine to kids 6 months and older.
It's your shot to get back in the game. Get your COVID-19 vaccine today.
When you work for a plan as good as Blue Cross and Blue Shield of North Carolina, you kind of feel bad for the other guy.
Will your plans let me see a specialist without a referral?
You bet.
Yes.
And you'll have plenty of options.
Could my family pay $0 per month?
Yes! Plus, you get saved with 3 free doctor visits and 0 copay for preventive care, virtual visits, and many prescriptions. Find your yes plan today. Choose wisely, choose Blue.
Dogs don't know what's good for them, like not being able to leave a good stick alone. Greenie's Dental Treats, something better for your dog to chew on.
Jacob, the type of child that was not outspoken at all. Before in CPK, he was shut down. His teacher helped him a lot. Now he's raising his hand, answering questions.
When people think about schools, they tend to think about just the teachers. We have so many people behind the scenes to make the schools safe, to make our students happy and healthy. I'm happy that the North Carolina Education Lottery funds to help pay for our support staff.
My child can go to an awesome program for free, and that's a big relief.
Giving feels good. Join your Honda dealers at the Carolinas in supporting Toys for Tots. Just drop off an unwrapped toy at your local Honda dealer, and we'll do the rest. Find a drop-off location near you at CarolinaHondaDealers.com.
Well, early after the turn of the century, it was a rite of passage for the New Bern Bears to be here in the state championship environment. Their last trip, though, 2014. until Torrey Nowell and company took over. He's brought this rushing attack. The triple option offense has them a quarter away from a state championship with the lead and the football, 3rd and long. And will let his quarterback, Tucker, weave through and work his way to the end zone. On the first play of the 4th period, the lead grows, and Damari Tucker showed you why he's been a tremendous field general all season long for the Bears.
Well, I think that's just a lack of concentration right there. They have been playing this deep offense pretty well up until that play right there. They have not, they just lost containment.
Switch over to the 4th quarter. New Bern answers the bell to start the new period, and it's now 33-21. Pending the extra point. 34 on the horizon, and that's going to hit the upright and carry him off. So the second time in this contest, the extra point not connected on, but the lead's still there, and it's of double digits for the Bears of New Bern right now. Teams were running off the field, but hit the pause button. And looks like there's a flag to sort out here. An illegal formation against the offense is going to be declined as you get one more look at the touchdown run by Tucker.
Yeah, you know, that's just don't look like they were in the defense that they want to be in. Look like they were not lined up. And Tucker, he just made a great play.
Well, you think about the journey it's been for Torrey Nowell to this point. We talked about how he and his staff felt like the playmakers were there. Tucker, his brother Herring, on down the line with Dockett and Wallace and Bremer, and not to mention the defensive side of the ball. Evidence of the playmakers being there. He said, you know, one of the best things I have is this staff. And remember, you talk about the previous championships. Bobby Curlins is on the staff. He said, I had to beg, he said. I had to beg, please. He said, you don't even have to be here every day of the week. You don't even have to be a part of the thing all the time. He said, but please be a part of the staff. You know, he won the 3 titles for New Bern, and he said, well, I've only got one speed. He said, we need to give plenty of credit to he and his wife Beverly that he's been full song as a part of this thing. He said he's become my mentor, and this is a night where they want to make sure the torch is really passed forward with what has happened so far. It's so far so good for Coach Nowell, as well as Coach Curlins and everybody else who's on that New Bern sideline right now.
Well, it shows the commitment from that community for him to commit to come back and be a part of this growth.
There is the NC 529 kickoff, comes off, is loose, and it looks like in the end Grimsley was able to cover it up, but that was a catch your breath moment for the Whirlies, because that could have been a knockout punch had New Bern fallen on it.
That was close to coming to turning the lights out right there.
Instead, Grimsley will have it. One more note on the staff for Coach Nowell and company. He said, my mentor for a lifetime has been Earl Sadler. In my days at Pamlico, who he brought here 4 years into his tenure there before taking the job, he said he was my mentor, basketball guy, minister, so many things he did in the community that are worth mimicking and learning from. But he said, since I came here, having the coach that won the 3 state titles on your staff, he's become my football mentor, and it's been a great fit. Well, they find themselves in a good spot, though there's still time for Grimsley. What's the 4th quarter adjustment that needs to be made for Grimsley, Melvin, if they're going to pull right back in this
Well,
game?
I'm still thinking that they got to figure out how to get the ball to Anderson and Taylor. They got to get the ball to their playmakers, and that's been the difference, I think, in the game, is that Grimsley have not gotten the ball to their playmakers.
They have targeted them on a number of occasions tonight, but just 3 of 11 passing, and it is mind-boggling when you look at the limited number of yards. Try to go back that direction here on cue, and Taylor can't quite gather it up. Double coverage, and look who's back there in the secondary again. Tucker among those trying to provide the defensive posture.
Well, Coach told us that he's the best safety in North Carolina, but he needed a quarterback, and so it looked like he's going to have his best players on the field to close out the game.
He comes over, provides the help on that play, and it makes it 3rd down and 9. Go time with 11:08 to play, because you simply don't know how many possessions you're going to get against an offense the style of New Bern's. Stevens takes this up the pipe, but he's just back to the original line of scrimmage, and that's where he gets reacquainted with K.J. Sampson, the senior.
Well, he has made his presence felt all night up front. And one of the things you see the difference between him, he can run. That's 285 pounds that can run a back down or a quarterback down from behind.
285 pounds, as you said, on the move. That's a scary proposition. And he's there to snuff out this drive. And here's the punting unit on for Grimsley. As this is going to take a Grimsley bounce at the 47 and eventually be blown dead at the 42-yard line. That's where New Bern will take over. And the way this offense has built, their design is on playing a little keep away and turning it into a Bears championship across the next 10-17, one would think, Melvin.
Unless they get a breakaway, they're going to probably take half of this time off on this possession right here.
New Bern back out there. Touchdowns on the ground. 2 of them for Herring. 1 of them for Tucker. A pair of them, including the first, for Wright. And those 5 rushing touchdowns with this team out front, 33-21. As you look at the man with so much rolling through his mind in these moments, as his team goes back to work on a new drive on first down from the 32. That's good for 5 before the first contact, and then a whole lot more. That's going to be a Hardy's first down. You can move the chains out near midfield as New Bern goes on the march. $17 on the carry, and the ball on the 49-yard line. You know, the Bears mindset, it's not just about keep away, run the clock out. If they can put the exclamation point at the end of this drive, that's certainly.
Yeah, I saw Coach tell him stay in bound on the sideline there.
So the clock is something of which they are mindful right now. And they'll stay right in the heart of things inside Grimsley territory at the 44. And still lunging forward at the end of this, fighting for every yard as we dip under 10 minutes remaining in the 4A state championship game. This was a 13-0 lead for New Bern early. It was 13-7 after 1. Both teams traded touchdowns in the second quarter and the third quarter as Grimsley would get within 6 and get within 6. But the only touchdown in this fourth period belonging to New Bern, they've stretched it out a bit to 33-21 and looking for more here. And attrition, the other thing you keep an eye on right now, right?
Oh, yes.
Back up to the line, this talented stable of backs. Can they bring a championship of the full-on rushing variety to New Bern, North Carolina? Inching ever closer to it as they'll reset things on the far side chain-wise at the 34-yard line. A series of Hardy's first downs that the Bears of New Bern are rolling through right now. They would like to celebrate with those Saturday morning biscuits the state championship, right? That's what they have in mind tomorrow morning.
It would taste a lot better if they get this ring.
You can have them until noon on the weekends now. Those super biscuits from Hardee's. Check them out if you haven't yet. That's a Hardee's first down. Near the 32 where progress is stopped, and you keep glancing up at that game clock because with every snap of the football for New Bern, the Bears inching closer to seeing the dreams become reality.
And they're in their comfort zone right now, running the offense, walking back to the huddle, getting their calls, and not being in a big rush. Then also, Garrett is not back in the game, and they're running right where he would be lining up.
Yeah, big loss. If you weren't with us earlier in the departure of Jamal Jarrett, the Defensive Player of the Year, the SEC prospect headed to the University of Georgia, who's been such a part of that defensive line and the overall unit. And just one of the premier players you're going to see anywhere in the country. And departing a little bit earlier tonight, that's opened up a few more things for this Bears squad, as you said, Melvin, right over the middle, and they take it inside of 8 minutes ahead of the next snap, which is going to come from the 30-yard line.
And they're in no hurry. They are taking their time. They're running the clock down. They're probably going to be snapping it around 4 or 5 seconds each time, or closer to 1. It's at 8 now.
The junior quarterback, Damari Tucker. A give off The brotherly connection all the way down to the 16-yard line as Herring will see
face mask,
a flag come out at the end of this. You're right. The way that was thrown in and the location. Looks like there may be more tacked on when all is said and done here. Already down into the Talk It Out NC red zone, and we await the verdict on this flag. Boy, this has just been an impressive performance all the way around for the Bears of New Bern. As they sort this flag out. And you called it a face mask. As they walk this off, let's check in with Rebecca.
Well, a name that you might not hear a ton is Jaden Wallace. And I asked his teammate Will Brimmer, who told me that, yeah, he might be a smaller guy and people may not pay a ton of attention to him, but they should, saying he's a great blocker. He blocks for Aaron and Damarian to make sure that his name gets out there because he makes those runs possible for his teammates. He said, don't sleep on him.
Yeah, we talked about all the playmakers in that backfield. Wallace, who Rebecca reminds you of there. Dockett, who's done some of the heavy lifting tonight as well. And boy, the combo, the brothers combo of Tucker and Herring, who've been everything in the championship environment that they've been all season long and that you would have expected them to be. But blockers in this scheme for the old defensive guy turned ground game coach, Coach Nowell. They get the love. I'll go back to what we talked about in the first half when he told us that when his receivers come back, guys that have played receiver for him that are playing at the next level, the argument is who was the better blocker. And,
oh yeah,
and it's a mantle of respect in this program.
And this program, but then also when you look at recruiters.
Yes.
Can that guy? We know he can catch the ball, but can he block? That's always the shortcoming when you talk about receivers blocking.
Come out of this system ready to do that. Come out of this program ready to do that. Second down from the 5, right back in the heart of the Talk It Out NC red zone. New Bern looking for what seems as if it would be the exclamation point, even though there's a lot of football left here, trying to really create the high water mark in separation on a night in which they've already limited the possessions for their opponents out of the Greensboro area, Grimsley. Worley's looking for some type of stand here. Second down, or actually that first down play, Hardy's first down in effect again here in the red zone as the ball rests on the 3-yard line. Tough for this Worley's defense. Haven't been out there a long time.
Haven't been out there. That's good to say. That defense been on the field a long time tonight. But this game is it's only three plays is separated.
Yes. Right in the thick of it, stacked up, handful of players. Stimson among those who was in there to help stand up the ball carrier and make the stop. Second down coming. Yeah, you look at a New Bern team that executed their offense well tonight. Also took advantage of a couple of those miscues. You think about the Karam and the interception on the slant route. You think about some of those different moments in which they've capitalized.
Well, they capitalized, but you had a couple of missed passes over in the corner in the end zone over there to Taylor and Anderson. So the score is not going to be a true picture of how close this game really was.
Grimsley right there throughout, but trying to create a little more separation and breathing room. And he wants it. Tucker, he's raising those hands as if to say, didn't we get in there? They're going to be about a yard short on this carry. And third down and goal is coming from inside the 1-yard line.
But I said he's going to take half of that 10 minutes off. We're under 5 minutes right here on this drive.
Yeah, it just makes you mindful of if they can go up by a trio of scores here. Not likely there are even that many possessions left. Stranger things have happened, and there's a lot of football left here. But with the way New Bern has run this offense tonight, making it tough on Grimsley to have enough possessions to work back in this thing. Worley's want to talk it over. We'll take the break as well. Third down goal from the 1-yard line with 4:35 to play. New Bern starting to inch toward what they hope will be a title.
Find your beat, your moment of calm. Find your potential, then own it. Support your immune system with a potent blend of nutrients and emerge your best every day with Emergency.
There's something new from Better Than Bouillon. Introducing the Culinary Collection. Chef-created flavor combinations like smoky chipotle and Italian herb that add a little something special to your family favorites. But don't take our word for it. The Culinary Collection from Better Than Bouillon.
Research shows people remember commercials with nostalgia. So to help you remember that Liberty Mutual customizes your home insurance, here's one that'll really take you back.
Wow!
What'd you get, Ryan?
It's customized home insurance from Liberty Mutual.
What does it do, bud?
It customizes our home insurance so we only pay for what we need.
And what did you get, Mike?
I got a bike.
Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Mid-fourth quarter action, a New Bern team that has led throughout the night. Looking for a little more on 3rd and goal from the 1-yard line. This is a team having rolled up 337 yards, and you can guess of what variety they have all been. Looking for one more, which would mean the latest of the scores. And there was trouble, it looked like, on the exchange there initially. So 4th down and goal is coming.
It is.
Oh, you think he just kind of took the...
Yep.
Let's see what we get here. Awkward with the football as he was bending downward there. And the clock winds toward 4 minutes. Still a lot of football left in this one, even if not many possessions, perhaps, if New Bern has anything to do with it. It is 4th down and goal here. And Jarrett back into the contest now, which is of note. Here's a give off right side and a stand by Grimsley as they will turn New Bern aside to keep hope alive at the 3:52 mark.
Well, you know, don't give up to the last. They said they're going to play to the last whistle.
Well, and just mentioned, you know, Jarrett working his way back into the thick of things there. Picked a spot to do it, right? Look at him eating up some space in the middle. They end up going outside in the open field combo. Yep. Tyler was there, and you see the celebration on the backside. Caldwell among those who was there to help shut that down. Jones, just a great pursuit on the perimeter. And 98 yards, that's a memorable total in this contest already for Grimsley. There was a 98-yard kickoff return for a touchdown by Anderson. And they're now 98 yards away from the other end zone, down by a couple of key scores here. And New Bern, just a timeout, you would think, to kind of reset here. We'll take the break as well, talk about the balance of this one on the other side. 4A title game coming down the home stretch of our broadcast, presented by West Shore Home.
Teens are under a lot of pressure, especially when it comes to underage drinking. They may not say a word, but as a parent, you can see the signs. We can help you help your teen. Go to talkitoutnc.org. Get great ideas on how to start the conversation about alcohol. So, talk to your teen about drinking. You might be surprised at their reaction.
Get ready to experience next level living.
You are not important because how long you live. You are important because of how effective you live. If you want to have a filled life, you got to fill your mind correctly. The key to life is outlasting the season.
Working the Word with Dr. Jeffrey Chapman Sr., Monday through Friday at 5:30 a.m. on channel CW22, and every Saturday and Sunday at 5:30 a.m. on MyRDC.
Will the goal line stand late in the 4th by the Grimsley Whirlies? Parlay itself into an exciting finish to the 4A state championship game. 98 yards from pay dirt, needing a couple of scores. But as we talked about during the break, stranger things have happened along the way, and hope is still alive thanks to the defense. Can the offense build upon it as Ryan Stevens and company are back out there? He's standing in his own end zone as he zips a pass over the middle to the 11-yard line. That's about 9 on the first down catch. And here's Taylor. You know, we've been tracking the yardage tonight on the offensive side of things through the air. It was 3 for 12 for 8 yards. Can that change on this drive? And it's shocking as you get the Hardy's first down here, and the chains are going to move. The clock's going to stop for an instant. It's shocking, Melvin, because of just how balanced and effective Grimsley has been, both on the ground and through the air this year.
Yeah, and that, that right there, I asked Coach yesterday which one you want to take away from them. And he said, passing. And they've done that tonight.
Worked out so far. You still love the spot New Bern is in. If you have to pick your location right now, the Bears in prime territory. Deep look here, though, and that is caught. Anderson, he's going to go 98 on the kickoff, and then he's going to go the distance again here for the touchdown. When they've needed a big play, they've called number 8, and he answers once more with under 3 to play. You're a little bit taken aback now, as it is a tight one heading down the stretch.
Well, you couldn't, as I said all game, we've been talking about it, Jason, is those two guys are too special to not show up. And there it is right there.
85 yards on the touchdown connection. Again, it's worth noting, they had 8 passing yards all game. 85 here at the 3-minute mark of the fourth period.
On one play.
And suddenly things have changed in the blink of an eye again for Grimsley, and it should come as no surprise that right in the middle of it all is the junior, Terrell Anderson, who has been the premier playmaker on this night for Grimsley. And did we just mention stranger things have happened in terms of comebacks? This is going to take it with the extra point to a 5-point contest with under 3 minutes to play in the 4A state title game. So hold everything.
Now, Grimsley has tonight 3 3-and-outs.
Take one more look at the connection. 85 yards to go along with, I'll say it again, the 98-yard return on the kickoff, which, remember, was the first score for Grimsley. He had the first one, Melvin, and he had the one that just kept hope alive and ignited the far side. As the fans from Greensboro are beginning to sense now they're right in it.
They're right in it. They're only 3 downs away. 4 downs if they decide to go for it on 4th down. But they have stopped them tonight. Their defense has stepped up and stopped them. They just had a goal line stand down on the 1-yard line. So that was the 3rd time that they stopped them on defense tonight. So do they have another one in them?
Only takes one more at this point, right?
Only one more.
What a game in the 4A title matchup. If this is the appetizer for what's to come the rest of the weekend, tomorrow morning at 11, and then the balance of the day tomorrow with 2 over at Carter Finley and Raleigh, you'll want to stick around for the North Carolina High School Athletic Association Weekend of Champions here in the Triangle. It's just been quite a night and not settled yet with 2:57 to play. Had a note here just a moment ago, I'll give you after the NC 5:29 kickoff, time permitting, about teams not attempting passes and winning state championships. You wonder if New Bern's going to have to do something a little different here on this drive. It's something that Grimsley has rarely forced them to do in this contest. Here's the kick this direction, and the onside is covered up by who else but Green. He does a little bit of everything.
He's everywhere
For this team, and he covers this up. But here comes the moment of truth. That note, by the way, last team to win a state championship without completing a pass, attempting a pass in their case, 2017. You might have expected it was that Tarboro T, right? Tarboro T. They did it against Mount Airy, won 32-7 with 300 yards rushing. And New Bern tonight, the rushing total at the 337. But do they have one more Hardy's first down left in them to try to run this clock out and turn this into a championship? High drama in Chapel Hill at Keenan Stadium as the 4A combatants line it up one more time. And he is Mr. Jarrett right there in the thick of all this. They'll run to his right and far to the left side and out of bounds with 2:49 to play. Probably not the ultimate outcome getting out of bounds that New Bern wanted to see, but they do pick up a movement of the chains. That is a Hardy's first down for the Bears.
Well, we're going to see if they can pick up a couple. They need one more first down.
2:49 to play. It's a little consequence on this particular play how far they run it down, but watch it the rest of the way. You would assume they stay in bounds, and just how much of that clock can they dispense with at midfield. Ball resting just above that North Carolina Tar Heel logo. These two teams trying to become North Carolina state champions. And it's right in the thick of it. Rolling around in there among others is number 99, Andre Hill, the sophomore who's played valiantly up front to help make the stop. Second down coming, and here's where you'll see that clock go all the way down around the 2-minute mark before the next snap.
Oh, yes. They won't snap it until they get about on 3.
Time precious for Grimsley, although you know they can score in the blink of an eye. They just showed you that with Anderson's latest exploits a moment ago. But can they get the ball back, provide themselves one more chance? Or can Newbern salt it away? Running in behind those big blockers up front. How about the work the line did, the offensive line that time, to get it inside the 40 to the 39?
Well, they can taste it right now. Those guys have started thinking back to those summer workouts, started back on August 1st in the heat of the summer. Over 300 some teams started out down to 8. So they're feeling that hard work paying off.
Dylan Wagner, Mari Wright, the center, Massonet, Magwood, and Bell, Robert Magwood, Jamar Bell. It's so much good work done up on that front line tonight. The Newbern Bears dependent upon that front line, and they have answered the bell on this night. 2 timeouts were there in the pocket of Grimsley, one of them used. So just 1 timeout remaining for both teams now, and that puts so much on this upcoming 3rd down.
Oh, yeah. 3rd and short. And so see if they can get a stop here and force them to go to 4th down.
In many ways, it's 3rd and short for a state championship right now if you're Newbern.
Right. Yep.
Just based upon the time on the clock and the lack of remaining timeouts for Grimsley. If they come away with a stop here, they can stop the clock, give themselves around 2 minutes, depending upon what Newbern does on 4th down. Bears would like to settle it here on 3rd. Gonna rush right side, falling forward across the 35-yard line, and Newbern will move the chains. That's a Hardy's first down, a hard-earned Hardy's first down with just under 2 minutes to play, as Newbern is able to convert on the key 3rd down.
That was huge right there. And just man-on-man blocking, and missed tackle in the backfield, but they're just wearing them down right there.
Just continuing to spin through traffic, and the clock down at 1:40 now. It's time, precious time, rolling on down in favor of the Newbern Bears right now. Big lick is met right away. Bryce Davis, who's there to provide the stop. He looks up to see how much time is really available. Behind the sticks now, but the bigger issue, those 85 seconds that remain, and that's where it'll hold steady as timeout is called for, and that's the last opportunity for the Whirlies to stop the clock.
Well, and not giving up for the Whirlies, but this is a young team. Just looking at their roster, and I was looking at it yesterday, they're a young team.
Not the last we'll see of them, whatever happens here.
Not the last we're going to see of them. A young, big team.
Yeah.
You're talking Bryce, kid just made the tackle right there, Bryce Davis. 6'3", 230 pounds. You got
sophomore
Andrew Hill, 300 pounds.
Sophomore. Chris Young, who had the big recovery a little bit, sophomore. So you will hear whatever happens here from this Grimsley Whirlies team for a while. Yes, the major contributor up front there, Jamal Jarrett, what a career he's had, is moving on to the SEC likes of his future. But this is a team with talented playmakers all over. They're trying to come up with one more takeaway perhaps here in the desperate closing moments for Grimsley, and Newbern looks up and says, can we get that clock to roll any faster? The Bears have it on the horizon now. What would be that elusive championship? Coach Nowell came here. We talked about it, his time at Pimlico, where he worked his way here 4 years in, ran into a Murphy team with tremendous size, and the history of that program out of the mountains. And it took him 4 years at this location to get the Bears of New Bern back, and now they're inside a minute away from what would be hoisting a championship trophy. Third down behind the sticks, though. Grimsley trying to discover, is there enough time, and rushing outside to seal it. And tiptoeing the sideline for the score to put the exclamation point on it is the field general, and they can begin to celebrate in the land of the Bears. New Bern is going to bring it home in the 4A ranks.
Well, it was not easy. The score is no indication of how hard these kids played out here tonight. And Grimsley don't have anything to hang their head down on tonight. But they played. But Newton stuck to their script.
Well, it's going to be worth having another look at the tiptoe job that took place down the near side. We're going to see that. It was
I thought he stepped out.
A tremendous effort on the touchdown that seals it. What a year it's been. You know, you put Damari Tucker, you talked about what a great athlete he is, what a tremendous safety he is, and yet they needed his leadership at the quarterback position. And when they needed that final play to put the state championship on ice, they call his number one more time, and boy, does he make it pay off.
Well, it's just fitting to go to your leader. Go to your leader. Go to that player that has done everything that has been asked of him.
Well, and here's the memory of the job he did to stay in bounds and work inside the pylon.
Like he stayed in.
Well, this is the highlight moment for Damari Tucker, but it's one of many for the Bears of New Bern tonight. They have just put together a complete effort in this one, though.
And the scary thing about it, he'll be back next year.
He's a junior. Brother, moving on. Herring, who has been a tremendous performer tonight, as you'll find out before we're done, to tease that just a little bit. But he is, you said it, in his junior campaign. He's coming back, and so many of these seniors around him that have made their mark on what is going to be a championship season, it seems now, for New Bern. He's letting it start to sink in here a little bit, as he thinks, man, so many said, can it be done? Could it be done? And, 33 seconds away from it having been done.
Yeah, and I think that Coach said it yesterday, why be like everybody else?
He's unlike everybody else when he holds that trophy up here in just a few moments. Player of the game, that one going to go to the senior out of the brothers combo that has been tremendous in this one tonight. Our West Shore home player of the game. Who else but Herring?
He did everything that was asked of him. He set the tone early in the game with the touches, making a miss, using his speed. He did everything that any coach would want his running back to do, and his leader.
Aaron Herring, our West Shore home player of the game. West Shore Home, America's most admired home remodeling brand. And congratulations to Herring, our West Shore Home player of the game. Well, that breathing room reinstated in 33 seconds, separating them from a title. New Bern is set to kick the NC 529 kickoff into the direction of the Whirlies. This one going to be returned far side by Caldwell, and he'll eventually be gathered up just across the 40-yard line with 25 seconds to play. You can say this for Grimsley: never quit, gave it every bit of effort, and made it very interesting in the last minute.
They did. They went to their playmaker, and he made a play and kept them in the game. But you got to give a coach, Nora, and his staff over at Newton. They came in with a game plan. I thought at the beginning of the game, showed the ultimate respect of the front of Grimsley.
Didn't go right into the teeth.
Did not go right in the teeth. Opened up with a toss sweep and ran a little bit on the corner. But I think that was just a sheer respect.
ended up paying off in the end as they got down to being themselves when all was said and done, as this falls incomplete. Flag will come in on the intended target, Nolan Albright, over the middle there. And they'll sort this out. Let's rest just a moment on Darryl Brown. He's a lifelong dream of his to coach. We talked about the pedigree that, you know, worked his way into these ranks as the grandson of C.K. Seiler, who the field's named after there at his alma mater of Southern Guilford. He made the 10-mile journey, has reestablished this Grimsley program, having won the title a couple of years ago, and back here again. And with so much of that youth, they're going to be a force to be reckoned with for a while now.
Yeah, he has built a solid program there. You know, when you talk about the West schools, when you talk about the schools down in Charlotte, Grimsley is always in that conversation. Page is always in that conversation. But he has done a heck of a job over there at Grimsley.
Right there in downtown Greensboro, so much support coming his direction from there. They've shown quick strike capability, looking for another here, and that looked like it was brought down, even if out of bounds, by Alex Taylor, who they tried to go to one more time. Just couldn't get that passing game going early in this one, and that was the difference maker once they finally did make the connection with Anderson. The hole a bit too deep that they were trying to dig out of with New Bern. But again, in it right down to the wire. You said it, having reestablished a program right there in the heart of Greensboro, and you're going to see that G for a while. Grimsley going to be a force to be reckoned with in North Carolina. But 14 seconds on the game clock, and attention turns to the direction of Coach Nowell and New Bern. And this team, as the defense somewhat fittingly may be out there right now with that tremendous front of their own, trying to put the finishing touches on it.
But their secondary gets the prize tonight.
Yes.
I have to give, the front is who we talked about all week, but their secondary came and they accepted the challenge and took those two-star receivers out.
And a couple of sophomores back there in Ivion Smith and Green Henry. A pair of sophomores. You think about the seniors like Wright, who was effective on the offensive side of the ball as well. Alex Graham, who's in his senior campaign. Berth, the senior. We called Goody's name a couple of times, the junior, and Green over and over and over again. Big number 7 right there in the thick of it. So, yep, the front gets a lot of attention, but it was a complete defensive effort for this group. And now they eagerly await the final 10 seconds, which have to feel like for New Bern they're taking forever to go off the clock, right?
This is forever right here.
Going to result in a ring and a trophy, and more than that, it's going to result, Melvin, in a lifetime of memories that no one can ever take away as a champion.
Oh yeah, and that, you know, for especially when you talk about, and I brag about Down East football all the time, and these small rural communities, this is what they have. This is where you know, you may be at a game and don't even have a kid on the field. And so this is very special for that community, I know.
It's back to New Bern, this championship, as it is going to be a community celebrated win. Flags come in here with 2 seconds, 1 second. It's of little matter to the New Bern sideline. They've already handled the Gatorade bath. Now flags are flying everywhere, and I don't think our officials are going to let this end quite like this. But the Gatorade bath already in effect for Coach Nowell, and the celebration has begun in New Bern, and certainly for those who made the 126-mile journey here to Chapel Hill.
Yeah, and you know, and that's, you know, unfortunately that we're going to end the game the way that it's going to end. But back to the community. And looking at on the screen here, looking at Coach soon with his daughter, that's what it's about right there. That family and being able to represent your home and your community. And this is what these young men will be able to talk about for a long time, you know, especially when there's a drought.
And 2014.
And so, you know, we brought it back. And so that would be that conversation.
And the torch in many ways passed now from Bobby Curlings and those outstanding championship teams, the 3, and he's on this staff, experienced it with as a mentor to the new staff. They're sorting out these penalties, and I don't think anybody from New Bern is worried about it one way or the other right now. They're waiting for what follows as the celebration has begun. 1 second exists on the game clock here at Kenan Stadium, And the defense for the Bears back out there. This is just going to be a one-play curtain call for New Bern right now as they get back out there and get ready to put the finishing touches on this thing.
Yeah, and you know, and hopefully these kids take this experience and you know, as they go the trip back to New Bern and how special this is. Everybody don't get to this stage, and I tell kids all the time, everybody has a count, a snap count. Yours may be a little longer than the next guy, but enjoy it until it comes to the end.
Well, this is how it ends. 16-0 for New Bern in 2022. The Bears are champions of 4A. They simply had to take the field one more time, let that final tick roll off the game clock. It has. It was a 2.5-hour journey from New Bern, North Carolina, to Chapel Hill. But the journey for that man, for his team, it's been so much longer than that. It's been the journey of a lifetime, and it culminates, Melvin, in the 4A state title.
But you know that's a good end. A good end is to walk away with the championship, and especially in this day and time to go undefeated, to go 16-0.
Well, it reminds you how they did it as well. Remember that 2017 Tarboro squad did attempt to pass, won the state title against Mount Airy, 32-7. We told you about it earlier. And, of course, that's at the rematch that you're going to get to be a part of tomorrow, taking place over at NC State. This team joining that group, they didn't need the passing game tonight. It was all the rushing game, and the rushing game was more than enough. All the questions having been answered by Coach Nowell and his New Bern team, the Bears turning that offensive approach into a North Carolina State championship.
Well, and you know, that piece, you know, especially at the 4A, we see that offense at the smaller schools, 1A, 2A, some 3A, not that much at the 4A level.
But what did he say? He said it's worked for Georgia Tech, it's worked for Air Force. I've seen it work for people who've had great athletes. I believed, and that belief has paid off.
And that's what I was going to say, but when you got 5 running backs, you got that kind of talent on your when you got that kind of talent, you got 5 guys, and you got to figure out, how do I keep them all happy?
It makes every offense look pretty good.
It makes every offense look good.
Ends up with plays like this. Let's go ahead and take a look at our play of the game. We don't have to go deep into the contest to find the play of the game. It was the exclamation point. Sealed it for the field general, Damari Tucker and company. He tiptoed down the sideline and put this one on ice.
Yes, man, and that's how you want it. You want your leader to be the one that closed out the deal, and that's what he did. He closed it out in a fine fashion with a nice run down the sideline.
That is our West Shore home play of the game, bringing happiness to every home. Your friends and providers of this broadcast tonight, West Shore Home. What a partnership they have with the North Carolina High School Athletic Association, with those of us at Sinclair, America's most admired home remodeling brand, West Shore Home, making it possible for you to see this 4A championship tonight. Boy, how do you put into words what we've witnessed from this group of Bears tonight as they have returned New Bern, one of the traditional powers in this state, from, as you said, down east, back to the top of the hill?
Well, for me, in watching them tonight and just keeping and following them all season, is that they stuck to their script. Coach Noah had a script, and they followed it all the way to a championship. And, you know, both of you and I looked at each other with the opening play of the game when he ran a tall sweep. It was like, wait a minute.
We weren't prepared for this.
We weren't prepared for that. But I think that as he grows as a coach, a head coach, and as he talked to us yesterday, he's picked up pieces from different coaches, and now he's going to have to, you know, develop and blend into his legacy. And so this is the start of his legacy, I believe.
He's now a state championship head coach, and the victorious head coach of the New Bern Bears is standing by with Rebecca.
Well, Coach, this has been a culmination of hard work from the spring to summer, and to be standing here in December as the 4A state champion. How do you describe this moment in time for you and your team?
It's incredible. You know, God is good. You know, God is good, and I'm thankful. Man, just look at this community support behind us. You know, when I took the job here 4 years ago, I came here to win a state championship, and I told the guys that's one of the main reasons why I came to New Bern. You know, and this senior class, man, they gave us everything they had, and I'm just super thankful for them and just the community support that we've gotten the whole way. Thank Mr. Simmons, man. Jerry Simmons, our principal, man. He's a great guy. He's done so much to make sure he did it. And my guy's not here tonight because he had a basketball game. Hey, but Earl Sadler, thank you for everything you taught me. I appreciate you, and I love you, man.
What a journey it has been for this senior class who grew up together since they were 7 and 8 years old. How did they find a way to get the win here tonight?
Those guys have always been champions. They've always been champions, so they expect it. I love y'all. I got to go celebrate, though.
Thank you, Coach, for your time. Enjoy this one.
Thank you so much, Rebecca, and thank you, Coach. His staff worthy of praise. Bobby Curlings, Joe Davis, Kevin Reese, Terrence McCormick, Stephen Hardy, all a part of what is now a state championship moment for Torrey Nowell and the New Bern Bears. We'll come back. We have been informed who the superlatives are being awarded to by the North Carolina High School Athletic Association. Give you that, put a bow on this one. New Bern champs of 4A. Congratulations to the Bears as they reign supreme in the top classification in the state.
The need for officials has never been greater. Without officials, we don't have this. Make the right call.
Become an NCHSAA official. Visit NCHSAA.org for more details.
No matter who you are, being yourself can be tough when you have severe asthma. Triggers can pop up out of nowhere, causing inflammation that can lead to asthma attacks. But no matter what type of severe asthma you have, Tespire can help. Tespire is an add-on treatment for people 12 and over that proactively reduces inflammation, which means you could have fewer attacks, breathe better, and relieve your asthma symptoms. So you can be you, whoever you are. Tespire is not a rescue medication. Don't take Tespire if you're allergic to it. Allergic reactions like rash or an eye allergy can happen. Don't stop your asthma treatments unless your doctor tells you to. Tell your doctor if you have a parasitic infection or your asthma worsens. Sore throat, joint, and back pain may occur. Avoid live vaccines. By helping control your asthma, Tespire can help you be you. No matter who you are, ask your asthma specialist about Tespire today.
There's never been a better time to get away. With a great deal on the Hyundai you've always wanted. With America's best warranty and up to 3 years complimentary maintenance. It's your journey. Own every mile at the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Hurry in to get our best deals of the season. Get in and get away. Get 0% APR on the 2023 Santa Fe, plus 0 payments for 90 days. Visit buyhyundai.com today.
New Bern able to pull away at the very end and capture the 4A state championship with a win over Grimsley in a hard-fought contest that sees their undefeated season culminate in a 16-0 mark and a 4A state title. We welcome you back to our broadcast presented by West Shore Home. We were joking during the break, Melvin. Both Carolinas now have a state champion that never had to throw the football. But when you execute the ground game as well as New Bern does, you can find a way to a state championship, and they did tonight.
You can find a way. And you know, talent.
Comes down to talent. Let's talk about some of those talented players. Here are the superlatives from the North Carolina High School Athletic Association. Defensive player of the game, KJ Sampson. Offensive player of the game, of course, is the young Mr. Herring. Aaron Herring is the offensive player of the game. And then Otavian Green is going to be announced as the most outstanding player, the MVP for the victorious Bears in the state championship environment. That's a pretty good trio right there, and some tremendous players on all sides. You see the awards being handed down to Grimsley. A tremendous season. They came in here 15-0, and you said it, a young team you expect to certainly be back.
Oh, yeah, they'll be back. They got a good thing going there in Greensboro, and those kids have nothing to hold their heads down. You know, to go undefeated and to lose in the championship game. But, you know, they were 3 plays out. There were 3 plays. This could have been a different outcome.
Here come the announcements of those superlatives. There you see Sampson. You'll also see Herring and Green. They make quite the trio for anybody, anywhere. And they're going to share for a lifetime the memories of a state championship here in Chapel Hill.
Oh, yeah. And you know, growing up together, and I saw his interview with Thorpe yesterday from earlier this week. And one of the things that he said that kind of stuck out was these guys, I grew up with them, and we talked about this from middle school all the way to today. And not too many kids can say, I played with the same guy from middle school all the way through high school, especially the way things are today. People moving, the realignments, you know, they can, you know, here in where I live, you know, it's 33 different high schools.
Yes. And many can dream it, but few can make it reality. And this group did tonight. Here's the announcement of the well-deserved MVP designation for Green, who filled up so much space in the heart of that defense.
Well, you know, he is the guy. That's the guy that Coach talked about yesterday, and he did not disappoint. He made plays. He kept them motivated even when they gave up the score. They came back the next two series. They got 3 and out. So, you know, he made plays.
They made it back to the state championship environment for the first time since 2014. And they have made 2022 a date to remember. These Bears of New Bern claiming the 4A championship, and they're going to line up for those pictures which will adorn walls in New Bern, North Carolina from here to eternity. It's going to be a year they talk about, because not only it was a championship year, but the way they won this championship.
It's the way that they won it. They won it with, you know, good character. Those kids look like that they do what those coaches have asked them to do. And at the end, the reward, which we see, they are state champions. And that's a hard feat, is to win a championship. I played, coached 25 years, never won one.
And to do it with your brother.
To do it, that's even special.
And think about what that was to watch tonight, and then to do it with your brothers, plural. This a brotherhood, this a community, and this a championship for the New Bern Bears. That'll do it for our entire crew. We say thanks for watching. Look forward to being back with you from right here at Keenan at 11 a.m. tomorrow morning when we have the next edition of what will be 4 games for you between here and NC State across the course of the weekend. We cannot go off the air tonight without thanking all of our wonderful sponsors and our friends at the North Carolina High School Athletic Association. Those sponsors: West Shore Home, North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services, College Foundation of North Carolina, Hardee's, Talk It Out NC, NC 529, and Ingalls Markets make it possible for you to view these championship games and share in these moments. We say thank you to our sponsors, and we ask you to represent them and support them for their support of the North Carolina High School Athletic Association, Sinclair, and these young men. We leave you with the sights and sounds of the 4A title game. What a year for unbeaten Grimsley, unbeaten New Bern coming in. Only the Bears remain unbeaten on this night, 16-0 and 4A state champions. It goes back to New Bern in 2022.
I knew one day I'd get my shot. So here